boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another edition, another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. We need answers. Yes, we need answers now. I welcome each and every last one of you who found the not robbery to get here today. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be excited about it. Hopefully y'all had a good weekend. You know, if this is your first time here, joining us live in living color, you know I have to welcome you. Greetings and salutations. Yes, come on over. Shut the door. Come on in. Take your shoes off. Have a seat. You're more than welcome to be here today. Please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please like this video. Now, you don't have to wait till later on. Y'all can do it right now. We already know that YouTube is shadow banning the channel. That's no secret. I already put it out there. So when you press on the like button, it helps the content reverberate all across the YouTube boxing community streets, all over the world. Force YouTube to push the algorithm, push them to push the content farther out like they used to. You can do that. You can help support this channel by just clicking on that like button. Yes, that's all you got to do. Subscribe to the channel now. Become a member of the channel. Support the channel. And speaking of being a member of the channel, I have to double salute to all of the members of the channel, those that are particularly in the chat right now. One of the perks is to be publicly acknowledged when I see you. Andre Noble, what up, my brother? Salute. Biz on the beat, let's go. Salute. 2 Cents Boxing, yo. Salute, sweetheart. Good to see you as always. We need answers. Yeah, we need answers. Hold on for a second. Hold on. I got to do something real quick now that I see my man in the chat. Hold on. Let me see how we got to do this. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on. Oh, I was trying to do something right here, but I guess I gotta wait till the live go off. I was trying to oh man, I was trying to give somebody a wrench real quick. I don't know why it's been giving me trouble. But anyway, I'm glad that y'all here. Yeah, we need answers, man. We're going to talk, man. You know how we do. I'm just so glad that y'all here. How was y'all weekend so far? How's everyone's weekend? Huh? How was everybody's weekend? Everybody's weekend was cool? I'm trying to hook you up now, Dre. I'm trying to hook you up now with it. I think I gotta wait till I have to wait till the live go off to be able to do it. I got you though. When this live goes off, Dre and CO Sense, I got y'all. I got y'all. Trust me. I got y'all. I'm trying to work on that now. I don't have the option up, but when this go off, I got y'all. As soon as the live go off, yeah. Yeah. How was y'all weekend? Did y'all see that video? Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Y'all seen that? Oh yeah, the Super Bowl was crazy. Yeah, that joint was. Yeah, I had to do some grocery shopping myself. Yep. I know you too, Creole the Traveler. I told you I got you. I don't know why it's not giving me the option. You, CEO Sense, Andre Noble, I got y'all with the rich. Trust me. Yeah, what y'all think about that? I want to talk about that. Yeah, indeed. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Yeah, my man Carl Brown said he saw it. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all real quick. I don't think that was staged. Yeah, I don't think that was staged at all. Not at all. I mean, it could have been staged, but I don't think it was. I think that was real. I definitely think that was real. I don't think, when I say stage, I mean, I don't think it was rehearsed. Maybe I should say it that way. Yeah. Yeah, let me see what's going on. Let's talk about that, man. Let's engage in that. Yeah, we're gonna bypass our Town Watch check-in today, if y'all don't mind. Now, I get the people what they want. So if y'all want to do the Town Watch check-in, I will do it. But at the same time, we need answers. A couple of things that we have to talk about today. Oh, the sport of boxing is here today. Yeah. I think it's real. Hold on, I gotta show y'all something else. I gotta put a couple things on the screen here. Yeah, I want to know what y'all think about it. What y'all think about that Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia scuffle, so to speak? Yeah, what y'all think about that scuffle? Let's engage in the chat real quick. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I'm gonna drop the link too. Definitely about to drop the link. To drop that Liz link, fly the link in the kite. Y'all know how we do. Well, we're gonna have a good show today. Yeah, we're gonna have a real good show. Yeah. Real good today. I want to know what y'all think about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. They had the scuffle. It looked real to me. Some people might say that it was rehearsed. Look real to me though. Is it necessary? Is this going to galvanize people to buy this fight? That's what I want to know, if that's what it's going to do. Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah. Sense want me to go in. That's what. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do. Y'all know we're gonna get into it. You know what I mean? We're gonna get right into the thing here. That's what we're gonna do. Man, I want to tell y'all, I love y'all, man. All of you all that support me, I got love and respect for y'all, man. The real ones. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting on some phone calls too, y'all. Remember I told y'all I had a couple of guests that I'm inviting onto the show to see if they'd come on the show. Remember I told y'all, talked to y'all about that Friday? So I'm waiting to see if we can get those two individuals. One of them was on the show already before. And the other one I did talk to probably like a year ago to see if he can get on the show a year ago, but we're going to see if he can finally jump on. Now I'm just waiting for, them to reach back out to me. Yeah, hold on, y'all. I gotta put something on the screen because I'm about to fly the link right in the. I'm about to fly the link into the chat. Real quick. Yeah, I actually do. Somebody asked, my man Andre asked me. Yeah, I do. I thought it was real. I do. I think it was real. I don't think. I think the entire situation wasn't real. Yeah, 2 cents boxing. That's what I'm working on now. Yeah, I'm working on that. Put that on the screen now in a minute. Yeah, yes indeed. Yes, I think it was real. I don't think Bill Haney's response was real. I don't think that was real because I watched the full video and I thought that was odd out of the whole situation. But overall, I think the whole situation was kind of like real overall, overall, as far as like them seeing each other, earlier during the time that they both was in the same vicinity. And, if you saw the video, you'll see clearly they knew each other were there. It wasn't like Ryan Garcia was walking past and he was, confused. Like he didn't know he was there. I do think at some point they realized they were going to say something to each other, but I don't think that it was rehearsed. In other words, I don't think that they got on the phone prior to that and agreed to do that. Only because I saw how everything unfolded after the fact with the people that was around them as well. That's what I'm talking about. But that's my opinion. I mean, either way, it's cool if it was rehearsed or not. Nobody didn't get hurt. No punches were thrown. So the money's not going to get messed up for these fighters when it comes down to them actually getting in the ring and fighting. So the question I would have is, that's what I mean. Good way to put that, Big Supreme. Anyway, so this is where they're going to have to start at. You see what I'm saying? Like if this is how you are starting with the promotion of this fight, y'all got to start there. And then now that y'all started here, when it's time to continue to build on the promotion of this fight, I'm not saying that y'all got to have a scuffle every time you get together as two fighters. What I'm saying is that y'all meeting up together during the press conference, it has to exceed the level of where it was then. It don't have to be disrespectful now. It can still be professional. But you're going to have to learn how to be able to do it in a professional way to galvanize people to buy the fight instead of it looking like a Jerry Springer show. Instead of it looking like 2 grown men or 3 or 4 grown men acting like females. That's very distasteful. If this is how they're putting this thing together, whether it was staged or not, whether it was rehearsed or not, they're going to have to make sure that they keep that same energy moving forward because you don't want to lose the casual fan. You don't want to get into a place where You got the casual fans riled up to buy into this fight, to buy this fight, to buy into the press conference that's coming up, and then all of a sudden now, they don't get their money's worth. They don't feel the need to pay for it, right? You don't want to give them up too. You don't want to go too far with it. You don't want to. You don't want to go too far where it's like, these guys are not being professional. You still want to maintain professionalism. That's what I'm all about. Yeah, go back and forth. Talk your trash. Nobody don't really have to put their hands on nobody no more. We got to stop that. Everybody want to act tough and gangster. That's not necessary. I'm not talking about Ryan when I say that. I'm not talking about Devin when I say that. I'm not talking about Bill Haney when I say that. I'm not talking about Ryan's security guards when I say that. I'm not talking about any individual person. I'm talking about all of them collectively. As men, we're professionals in this business. The touching and shoving, y'all did that already. We've seen that. We don't need to see that anymore. That's all I'm saying. We don't need to see that no more. We get it. We get it. Y'all don't like each other. Y'all not friends. We get it. We got to maintain a level of professionalism. Is what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. Let me go ahead on. Try to get this started in the chat real quick. Yeah, the viewership is increasing exponentially. I'm glad that you all are here. We need answers. That's what I know. We need answers today. We just need them. You know what I mean? We just need these answers. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yo, what's up? Y'all good? Everybody good? Okay, now we need answers. That's what we need right now. That's what we need. We need answers. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Let me take these off so y'all can hear what I'm about to say. What's going on? Everybody cool? That's what's up. Yeah. We need answers now. Know what that mean when I put this hoodie on, don't you? Y'all know what that mean. Now, I want to put a few things on the screen today, right? Now, I did accidentally put something on the screen. We're not dealing with that right now. I'm going to wait for that. Yeah. I'm going to wait for that. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. The chat, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The chat is going to be on fire. I'm telling you, the chat is already lit. We didn't even do a town watch check-in or nothing. We went right in. This is one of them shows where we going straight through the stop sign. Yeah, we go. Yes. I'm gonna put something on your screen, and I want to hear your take on this. Let me go ahead and do this now because I need a panel. I need a panel of individuals to give their hypothesis, their opinion. Okay? It don't matter if we agree or not. That's not important. I give everybody the space and opportunity to express yourself fairly on this channel. Okay? All right. Hold on. Let me do this. Man, I love coming on here. I got the hottest chat on YouTube, man. Got the best support system on YouTube. Let me put this out there first. Listen, support the channel now. Y'all know that I'm shadow banned. It's no secret. I done put it out there. Y'all see that YouTube is not pushing the content out. We see this already. This is no secret now. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. But I'm just saying, if you support the channel, the quality of the content that you get here is going to continue to grow and move to a place that you can understand. Let me speak on this real quick before I send this thing. I noticed something, right? Tell y'all how this channel is so unique. My first video on YouTube, October 2022, right? You know I'm the first one that I know of, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong because y'all been on here longer than me. I realized something. Since when do people start talking about numbers in the business of boxing? I'm talking about on YouTube. Let me be a little bit more specific. You know how everybody's starting to talk about pay-per-view numbers here, pay-per-view buys here, live gate here, ticket sales there. Nobody was talking about that before October of 2022, were they? I wasn't here on YouTube, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, when I do a little research that I've done, I haven't seen it yet. But I know that in October and November, I was breaking down all of the numbers. I'm talking about October, November 2022. I was breaking the numbers down. You know, of how, the fighters get paid on the back end when we talk about the promoters getting paid. Y'all remember that? Some of my day one supporters that's here, y'all remember that. I was using a reference because at that time, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence were going back and forth with whether they were going to fight or not and win. Okay? And I was using references of live pay-per-view numbers, live pay-per-view buys, references of live gate or ticket sales, ancillary rights, foreign rights, closed circuit, licensing fees, site fees. Y'all remember that? I got the proof and evidence here. Nobody was talking about that on YouTube. I'm talking about before October of 2022. Know why? Because they didn't know. I'm talking about content creators. I'm just using this as a reference. The real guy come in who knows the business of boxing. And that was my lane that I created so that all of you would be educated. Okay? So what I'm saying is that is usually overlooked when we talk about the business of boxing and YouTube. Because some people forgot all about that. Some people forgot I broke all that down. Some people forgot about it. Yeah, I'm just saying. The reason why I'm saying that, right, is because I see that people who don't understand the business of boxing are talking about things they know nothing about. What I'm saying is, when I started this thing here, I was putting up the sanctioning body rules. I remember that. The athletic commission rules. I was putting it on the screen. Y'all remember that? I'm just saying, before October of 2022, I haven't seen anyone speaking on this stuff. I'm not mad. I'm not talking about a particular content creator. What I'm saying is we haven't seen it. So when the real guy come up that's in the business of boxing, that's educating the people, all I'm saying is understand what we're dealing with. That's all just understand what we're dealing with. That's all. I don't want nobody to praise me or thank me or none of that. I do this from the heart. I don't adorn the praises of men. I told you that before. If you give me a compliment and you're genuine, I accept it. But if people give me a compliment and they're not genuine, I don't accept it. You see what I'm saying? We gonna know when it's genuine or not. You know, we are who we are by the fruit we bear. That's the spiritual principle of the day. What fruit are you bearing? You see a lot of people come over here as content creators as well, and they come over here and they see how the harvest is growing, and they see how I'm planting seeds to create the harvest. Then when the harvest grows, the fruit and vegetables that I provide on this channel, I'm talking about the knowledge of boxing. I'm talking about the knowledge of the business of boxing, that fresh bread, that manna. They come right over here. They see how right and good it is. Not all of them, I'm talking about just some of them. And then they go over back to their farm. And they start stealing the dance moves. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And it's all good because, hey, ain't no hating over here. But what I'm saying is, give credit where it's due. That's all. Just give it where it's due. I got more supporters than I do haters over here on YouTube. You know, but what I'm just saying is when I hear people use words associated with me, I'm a fraud. And, you know, I have no journalistic integrity. Small time money that I'm making. Salute to Estelle. Thank you for your cash app. I appreciate your support and contribution to the channel. We need answers. Now, let me go ahead. Who said that? Ooh, hey, Creole, what you know about that, Creole? All right, listen, I'm not the preacher today, Creole. Don't make me go, hey, Creole, don't make me put, hey. Some people don't know about what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm going to take the hoodie off and go put the, if I take the hoodie off, you know I'm going to go, Manager Martin Luther King. Manager Martin Luther King Jr. Don't let me go get him. I'll go get him now. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, let me put the link in the chat now. I got to put the link right out there. I have to. Because we need answers. And I want to see what you all think. The viewership. You ain't got to agree with me to come up here. Just come on up. I want to see what your thought process is. Let me turn the camera off. Bam, look at your screen. We going right in. Yeah, no town watch check-in today. We running all stop signs today. Yeah, I told y'all we going to do truth and evidence. Yeah, this is that segment I was telling y'all about on Friday. That's why I'm glad you're here. Truth and evidence. Yeah, did y'all see that on your screen? I'm going to throw it back up there. Bam. Now, listen now. Support the channel, y'all. Support. I don't ask for much, but support the channel now. I ain't begging for nothing because I know when this segment go off, you know people gonna be like, oh, he was begging for super chat. You see, I understand the language. It took me a while to understand the language of what people use on YouTube. Let me read this out loud for those of you that might not be looking at your screen. You might be driving your car. You might be still at work. Probably can't see the screen. You might be at home being preoccupied with something. But let me read this. This is from our dear buddy, Mr. Victor Conti. In fact, I was live on Friday, and this is what he commented on a video that was posted earlier that day on Friday. And I'm going to read it. In my opinion, Mr. Marty should change his name to Captain Clickbait. Y'all see that? In my opinion, Mr. Marty should change his name to Captain Clickbait. Marty is basically a fraud who represents himself as a journalist with integrity. What Marty actually does is take small clips of videos that are taken out of context and add sensational titles and headlines that do not even match the content of the video. Manager Marty is creating suspicion where there actually is none. This is basically a channel full of fraudulent statements attracting uninformed fanboys who help Captain Clickbait make some small time money for posting sensational titles. And those were the words of our buddy, Mr. Victor Conti. I'm going to let some of you that can read that on your screen, I'm going to let you all finish reading a little bit. Read it over if you can. I just want you to process that. That's all. Yeah, just process it for a minute. We need answers. Don't be afraid to send super chats in there. You know they're going to shadow ban this after the day again. Y'all know it already. We ain't got to keep playing. We know what's going to happen after this video. Go off. Yeah, we know it. You figured that out too, huh, Santiel? Me too. I figured that one out too. I pinned the link. I pinned it up. I flew the kite. Bam. And I pinned the link to the top of the chat. What y'all think about that? I want to know what y'all think. I want to know what y'all the viewers. Y'all the viewers of the live today. Y'all been viewing my lives for a long time, most of you. You watched the videos that I put up, particularly the ones, I'm referring to the videos referring to the snack program, Victor Conti, some of the small clips that Victor is referring to in the last month and a half that I've been putting up based on the 5-hour interview that we've done together on this channel. If you're new to this channel or if you're watching a replay of this live, I want to know what y'all think about it. I see how Victor Conti feels. I want to know what you all think about it, the viewers, the Roll the Tape film crew members. The link's in the chat too. If anybody want to come up, links in the chat. Feel free to super chat, super thanks, join the channel, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't, like this video right now. Come on. We need answers. I want to know what y'all think about it. Let me see what the chat's talking about first. Oh, my man here. Ooh, I didn't even see my guy here. Salute. Boss Hog Boxing. My guy. Good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Yeah. Come on up, y'all. Come on up. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's talk about it. Let me put it back on the screen for those of you that probably missed it. I'm going to read it again because the viewership is increasing exponentially. This comment was made by our buddy, Victor Conti. He commented on this video while we were live on Friday. It was a video that I posted and published on Friday, a few hours before the live. And these are the words of Mr. Victor Conti, and I'll read it again. In my opinion, Mr. Marty should change his name to Captain Clickbait. Marty is basically a fraud who represents himself as a journalist with integrity. What Marty actually does is take small clips of video that are taken out of context and add sensational titles and headlines that don't even match the content of the video. Manager Marty is creating suspicion where there actually is none. This is basically a channel full of fraudulent statements, attracting uninformed fanboys who help Captain Clickbait, quote unquote, make some small time money for posting sensational titles. Double salute to my guy, Jeremy Austin. Thank you for your super sticker and the first super chat of the day. I really, really appreciate that. Okay. Well, we got Mr. Greg back here. And we're about to let Mr. Greg on. Put this up the right way. Mr. Greg, how you doing, sir?
What the hell is going on? Oh, what did I done that you don't cause all this confusion and chaos, man? You got somebody with hurt feelings. It feels like to me, just what I just read. If he was time enough to come on and talk to you before, then he should have been time enough to come on and talk now in terms of what he just posted. Because in my opinion, if you got these feelings about somebody you've talked to twice and you didn't express them, then you go right back to him. Listen, but I get the feeling he don't want the pushback, I guess you would call it. Because if you're gonna say all that what he's saying, then he also needs to prove it as well. But I'm wondering, you're being shadow banned. You got people whining, you got people complaining, you got people saying things that have no facts, as we like to talk over here. You know, you're not saying you wrong because this didn't get said. Usually when it just it sounds like hurt feelings to me. And you're gonna be in the game. I never heard you call yourself a journalist. You just said, I'm gonna give y'all the facts, what I know. Take it as you will. So that's my feeling about that. You know, he needs to talk. If he's gonna talk to you, talk to you. If he's not gonna talk to you, he's doing what he's shown himself to be. As long as he can have the only say, then he's okay. But then when you push back and show why you pushing back, then he got to speak from behind the scene where everybody else is, who disagrees with you can now join in with him. That's how it looks to me.
Mm-hmm. Double salute, my guy, Big Supreme. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Big Supreme says, Conti is upset about that Remy Karchimney segment. And what that Remy Karchimney segment that Big Supreme is referring to is the Devin Haney Revelation Part 2 video that I put up and published. Mm-hmm. Thanks again, Big Supreme. Here's the thing. We're going to get on the Amazon Prime deal with PBC, Eddie Torres. Hold on. Let's stay with the flow of this thing. Now, here's my thing with this. You said the word, Mr. Greg. I can't wait till people come on up to the panel. I want to hear what other people have to say about this. But here's my thing on this, Mr. Greg. You used the F word. You said feelings. It seems like Victor's in his feelings. Mm-hmm. And that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, let's put this in proper perspective here. Victor Conti is on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. I don't know. I don't want to lie and say every day, but he's on there very frequently within the time of a week. Let's say every other day to average it all out. And he's constantly dishing out, whether it be about Al Heyman, whether it be about PBC, whether it be about fighters who are opponents of snack fighters. I've heard him call, what's the guy who fought Bam Rodriguez? Sonny Edwards. Mm-hmm. I heard him say he sounded like a scared fighter. I've heard him say some things that you wouldn't expect from a nutritionist who's working with a fighter. And he's dishing it out about VADA. He's constantly criticizing everything, everybody, just every day, every other day. But when someone gives their opinion about him, like you called it pushback, all of a sudden now you get in your feelings. So basically what it is you could dish it out, but you can't accept it when it comes your way. Let's also put this in proper perspective here. Victor Conte is old enough to, if not be my grandfather, maybe my great-grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
We know that he was born in 1950. That's no secret. We see it in his name associated next to the year associated next to his name in his YouTube channel name. Okay. I have a great deal of respect for my elders, but that doesn't mean I have to tolerate disrespect from my elders. I've been nothing but respectful to the guy. I mean, if you go back and look at the 2 interviews I conducted with Mr. Victor Conte, I let the man speak his piece. He said all the stuff he wanted to say. I said all the stuff I wanted to say. People were super chatting. I mean, the man, and I can go ahead and replay it.
You don't have to. We know it.
But the man said, you're intelligent, you're articulate, you ask good questions, and I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said, Mr. Greg.
I was here for it.
Now,
I was here for it.
So now, all of a sudden, when things are not going your way, and what I mean by going your way is that people are not picking up some of the stuff you was putting down. And some people that did pick up the stuff that you put down realize that some of the stuff you put down, that fruit, it was rotten when they picked it up. See, we are the fruit that we bear. Okay? And so what I'm saying is we got to put these things in perspective. I want to break his words down. Double salute to my guy, member of the channel, Andre Noble. Thank you again for supporting the channel, my brother, as always. I want to. It's a word. It's a word at the bottom of everybody's screen. There's 2 words I thought was intriguing. Victor Conte used the word fanboys. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I did too.
This is fanboys is YouTube slang, from what I understand. I haven't heard the word fanboys nowhere else until I got on YouTube. Fanboys. So my thing is, where you get that from, bro? You ain't no content creator. Who told you that? Who are you listening to on YouTube? I don't use the word fanboys, so he can't say he's just listening to this channel. But you're listening to other people. You see what I'm saying?
It's meant to be an insult, and it's insulting because I, for one, can say, ain't nobody that's been on this channel fit that description. You know, as far as I'm concerned, everybody who's been on this channel, especially those who are frequent, and you know their names, and I can call out all the names. None of them fit that description. You got some very knowledgeable people who come on, say what they have to say, stand where they have to stand at. If they feel that they need to reevaluate what they've said, they will. You don't have anybody who's just. I think when he came on the 2 times, again, this is my opinion, and talked in depth as he's allegedly thought he was. I believe he thought everybody would be a rah. Oh, yeah, Victor was solid. He came on. He told us all the good stuff without examining what it was that he said and not recognizing how much more you actually had in the first place. See, if you didn't know anything and you couldn't pull up what you were able to pull up, the interviews and things of that nature, probably to him, he didn't know how far back you.
So we're having some technical difficulties with Mr. Greg.
I see.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Even though he said what he had to say, I don't think he recognized. He certainly didn't even think that you would have more than what you had. He thought maybe you were new to boxing, maybe you were just getting started, so it'll be easy to come on, say what he had to say, and you would take it as face value and not look behind the words. And there's some men, and I'm one of them, who look behind the words of what you say, especially If you're telling me something that I already have, as you had lots, years of information on, I'm like, okay, this I could see it sometimes in your eyes, like, okay, this is some BS, but I'm gonna let that keep going, you know. And now that people are now questioning, he's probably hearing these questions elsewhere as well now. He's probably seeing those interviews and now he's in his feelings because what he wanted to do didn't pan out. Now you got people who actually are questioning him other than you. Then you got fans who are looking at, wait a minute, let me look and see what this is. And then you had the Tim Montgomery interview that probably didn't help his case at all. And as we go forward, there'll probably be more situations where he's going to get questioned. So once you put yourself out on the on the podosphere, I'll call it, you open yourself up to any and everything. People questioning you, people wondering who you really are, people, looking line by line at what you said and looking behind your words. And if your words don't have anything that backs them up, they're not solid, you're going to get called out for them because that's what this platform does. You got crazies on it, of course. We all know that. But you got some solid people who will come on and who will raise some questions. Questions now been raised that he probably hadn't heard before in a way that he hadn't heard them before. And now it started with you. So who are you going to strike out at? It's you.
Yeah. I want to get the super chat and then I want to bring up some more points based on the words that he said. Double salute to my guy, day one supporter and member of the channel. My guy, Mr. Aaron Muhammad. Salute, Manager Marty. This is proof that Victor is a small part of a league of pirates bent on the destruction and failure of the PBC and Al Heyman. To Victor, you are equal a blown cover. Well done. Those were the words of Aaron Muhammad. And I have to say this because thank you, Mr. Aaron. You brought up Al Heyman's name. 2 interviews in a row, 2 that I've conducted with Victor Conti. He brought up Al Heyman's name repeatedly in a negative fashion. I think once you bring up someone's name in a negative fashion, all bets are off when the rabbit has the gun. You know, there's a saying my mom used to say back in the day, it ain't fun when the rabbit has the gun. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is I gave Victor Conti a platform to talk about himself, to talk about his journey, to talk about his snack fighters, but he used that opportunity to talk about Al Heyman and his issues that he have with Al Heyman. Same thing Rick Glaser did, and we're going to get to him in just a second. But my point is, we have to put this in perspective. I mean, let's go and listen to some other words. Let's look at it. Look at the screen. Let's look at the screen and look at the other words. He said, I'm the captain of clickbait. How? His opinion was, what I do is I take small clips of videos that are taken out of context, and then I add sensational titles and headlines that don't even match the content of the video. Now, I have to say we know that that's not true. Every video that I place from this channel always have something to do with the thumbnail and the title. And none of the clips that I've published and the clips that he's referring to is the little pieces of clips that I've been placing out there from the interviews that I've conducted with him. None of them were taken out of context. You want to know why? Because I'm not just putting the clip out there, right? And then just letting you just listen to him say whatever he says, and I don't have any commentary to it. Every small clip, and I'm not talking about the 60-second shorts. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have enough time to do that in the short. Right. I'm talking about the small clips that he's referring to. I always add commentary to it and explain the background before and or after I say roll the tape and I publish what he said. So the problem that he's having while he's in his feelings is because I'm not feeding you all large pizzas. See, when he was up here for 2 hours, that was a large pizza that you all were serving. When he was up here a second time for 3 hours, That was an extra large pizza that you all was served. And so now that I have both pizzas, all I'm doing is taking it slice by slice, and then I'm feeding the audience. I'm feeding the audience. I mean, to me, this can't be an educational channel for me to be the professor if I'm not going to make sure that you understand the content that you are listening to. Because I don't want anybody to misinterpret anything that I'm saying or anything Mr. Victor Conti is saying. So me being a clickbaiter, never once on YouTube that he can attribute that to me. All of the videos that I put out, referring to the small clips, have always been in proper context, and I added commentary to it before or after I posted what he said in the interview. So that's not true. Now, he also stated that I'm creating suspicion where there actually is none. I think this is more of a biggest lie and the most untrue statement out of everything that that man just said. So the reason why I say that is because Victor Conti said, excuse me, years ago in an interview, should people be suspicious of me? He said, yes, absolutely. So he told people, he invited everybody to be suspicious of him. So Manager Marty is not creating suspicion in the minds of anyone. That's number one. I don't think so. Number two, how am I creating suspicion when these are his words? These are his words.
Mm-hmm.
All the things that you all heard me put out were words of Victor Conti. You can't say it's slander. You can't say it's defamation of character. These are his words. So if people miss or interpret what they want, they're doing it based off of his words. So to say that I'm creating suspicion, no, I'm not. How am I creating suspicion? I'm not a snack fighter. So my performance ain't been enhanced. But the snack fighters' performances have been enhanced. So if I say that the snack program works, anybody can come back and say, you know what? I don't agree with everything you say, Manager Marty, but you're right, the snack program works. But when I had Victor Conti on here, in the first interview, I told him to his face, snack program works. And he agreed with me. And he said, science proves it. But when I said it in the second interview, when I told him the snack program works, he said it was not the snack program that helped Terence Crawford in any way, shape, or form beat Errol Spence. It was just because he's a great fighter. I mean, which one is it? You're the owner of the program. You're the owner of the product. How can you be in front of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in live time and the replay of the live and deny your own brand? I don't think that makes sense from a businessman's perspective. Me personally. Me personally, if you're trying to invite and entice others to be a part of the program, if you're trying to brand the program by having professional boxers and trainers wear your paraphernalia and your apparel, if they hear you say that it don't work and is not a part of no performance enhancement element and none of the fighters or Terence Crawford or whoever, that sounds like that's a contradiction. Who wants to buy into a program when the owner is telling you one day it works and the next day it doesn't? I mean, we've provided education on this channel way before Victor got here. And I have to say this because, you know, people want to ask questions of why he came up here and all this. The thing is this. I was ambushed when he came here, Mr. Greg. I know nobody want to hear it, but we need answers. I didn't get the opportunity to rehearse. I didn't get the privilege of saying, well, let me make sure the questions that I have for him is already, you know, pre-written, preordained. So by the time he get here, I'll know what questions that I want to ask him. I wasn't afforded the opportunity and privilege to be prepared.
He forgot that.
Yeah, see, I wasn't prepared. So that they say. That what people say, I wasn't prepared. But I know at this point in time, Mr. Greg, they know that I was well prepared. But the thing is, I didn't get the opportunity. I didn't get the luxury. I didn't get the privilege to tell my audience, hey, Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, we will have Victor Conte here live in living color this Thursday at 7 o'clock. Get your super chats ready. I didn't get an opportunity to advertise it properly. I was ambushed.
And he forgot that.
Huh?
He forgot that because you remember we were on a panel when somebody in the chat said Victor Conte was in the chat.
That's correct. And I asked everybody that was on the panel, you were up there, please, can y'all dismiss yourselves?
Exactly.
Because I see him here now. Mr. Victor Conte's here. We didn't know that he was coming up here. I didn't know that he was coming up here. I would have made sure that the audience, the viewership, everything was increased. Like the viewership is increased right now, and he's probably watching, and so is the goons and everybody else. I'm glad y'all here. But what I'm saying is that we got to put this in proper perspective. I didn't put suspicion in any. You know what's crazy? A Netflix documentary came out in August. If that didn't arouse someone's suspicion, I don't know what did. Because that equally aroused some people's suspicions. So I'm not going to be the guy to take the blame for putting suspicions in other people's mind or creating suspicion. If nobody was suspicious before and they came here to get information and they became suspicious, I can affirm that it wasn't just because of anything that I said. It was because of the evidence that was used here and the testimony of Victor Conte himself. I mean, we have to just put it all out there in perspective. Something else that he said, he used the term small time money. What does he mean by that? Like small time money?
Another insult. That's all.
So what it basically seems like to me is you're in your feelings and now you're resorting to insults because see, just a month and a half ago, you were a fan of mine. I was intelligent. I asked good questions. I was articulate. And then a month ago, when I was in my suit as the prosecutor, he said, oh, you do look good today in that suit. You gave me compliments, but now you in your feelings. I get nothing but insulted and ridiculed. You see, Mr. Victor could have said this in an email. He could have had a private dialogue with me in an email, but he wanted to make sure that he said it publicly, which was no problem to me because the video was public that I produced, no problem. But see, the reason why you wanted to go public, Mr. Conte, is because you wanted to get in the minds of the people to give them a perception about something negative about me. Saying I'm a clickbait artist, saying small time money, saying fanboys, which he's insulting the Roll the Tape film crew members. You know, saying that I don't have any integrity in my journalism, saying that I'm the one creating suspicion when there was no suspicion there. Everybody knows that there was suspicion there way before I even came on YouTube. And people know that there's suspicion even more now that he's been up here. Now, some people might be scared to speak on it, but the bottom line is he's attributing all of these insults to me. And I'm not mad about it. I'm cool. It just reminds me of, you know how a man date a woman, Mr. Greg, and then she compliments the man. The man is taking care of her. The man is doing all the things that he's supposed to do. But this one or two or maybe three times, he hold that woman accountable. Now, all of a sudden, she want to call her girlfriends and air out something that she feel about the guy. Now, all of a sudden, now she want to run to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, social media, and bite the guy's back out when it don't work out. But when you was with him, it was cool. It was cool when I let Victor up here. It was all good just a week ago. Now that people are not basically agreeing with him, and some people are starting to see through some of the smoke screens. And then, as Two Cents Boxing just said in the chat, I have to agree with her. Tim Montgomery had came up here then. You see, Tim came up, and Tim didn't disparage Victor Conte or nothing. You know what I mean? He didn't disrespect that man. But I'm just saying, he came up on top of the small clips, the small slices of pizzas that I'm giving the audience. These are his words. The pizza is all his words. I'm just slicing it up, giving it to the people, giving y'all fresh bread, and then giving you commentary so that you can understand the full picture of what's happening now. Now, all of a sudden, I get insulted. You see, this has happened over and over again. I'm used to it, especially on YouTube. I'm really used to it on YouTube. So I don't have an issue with it. All I'm saying is that when you look at what's transpired from December, when he came up here, all the way to today, everybody can see and hear what they want to see. Everybody can hear what they want to hear. There's no more insinuation. You see, everybody call it a undertone. Undertone. But when I let me put it on the screen here. See, this is what separates me, truth and evidence. When I put that out there, it's irrefutable. It's irrefutable. Now, there's a comment in the chat. Hold up. This is what we're going to do. See all that? I love this. Hold on, Mr. Greg. Marcus, you disagree with me. I'm cool. Click that link, though. Don't nobody else touch that. Don't nobody else touch the link, please. That link that's on top of your screen is for Marcus. Come on up, Marcus, because I want to hear what you mean. Come on up. You see, this is what we're doing in 2024 now. See, we do truth and evidence. I told y'all in the beginning of this year, we're not taking people's words without evidence now. Remember I told y'all that? Yes. So Marcus, you're spreading words. Now come on up with your evidence. Come on up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yes, just come on. Let's talk about it. You see, because if you ain't gonna press that link, then don't be in the chat talking crazy. See, I don't want to see no more words without the evidence now. Everybody in the chat. I don't mind you having a perspective. To me, this is one of the safest YouTube platforms that give you all, regardless of who your favorite fighter is, whether you agree with me or not, give you all the opportunity to express yourself, Marcus. So come on up, click that link. Nobody don't touch it. No, nobody touch it yet. That's for Marcus. And I'm okay with you disagreeing. I just want everybody that can't see the chat right now to understand what you mean. But the people that can see the chat, they're going to respond to you, right? So, but the people that can't see it, they want to know what you mean. Come on up. Let's talk about it.
Hopefully he'll come.
Yeah, because see, when people say that I am clickbaiting, I want to know what video did I clickbait. Say that I criticize Blue Blood Sports TV. That's what he said in the chat. That's what he said. But I've adopted his style. Come on up here. We do truth. This is the segment called Truth and Evidence. So if you have truth, you have to provide evidence with it so that we can deem you as credible, so that we can deem your words that you're saying as truth. That's what we do here in 2024 over here. Yeah, we don't do we don't do hearsay. I always tell people, Mr. Greg, and you've heard me say this, hearsay is heresy. See, we that's what we're going to deal with in a minute when we talk about Rich Glason. See, we can't keep going by hearsay. You know what I mean? Come on up, Marcus. Just click the link and let's talk. Let's have a dialogue over it. See, I don't want nobody to be misinterpreted about what I do. I can stand on what I do. That's why I can tell that man or whoever to click the link. It's not a challenge or nothing. What I'm saying is I stand on what I do. I have evidence when I speak publicly. If I don't say it's in my opinion, you know what I mean? Marcus is in the back. Can you show your face, please? Can you show your face, Marcus? I'll let you on. Definitely let you on. My God. You got your camera on, Marcus? Oh, let me see something. Let me make sure he there. Hello? Marcus, you there? You got your Marcus, you got your camera on though, bro?
Well, while
Are
he's
you
trying
gonna
to get it,
you Marcus, all you gotta do is turn your camera on. I know that you hear it. I'm gonna let you on the what's the name? All right, hold on. All right, we have oh you I hear feedback. I can't hear you. Oh, he said I think he said he might come back up. Yeah. So I want to hear what clickbait did I have done? What video is he referring to? You know what I mean?
he's not talking about Victor then.
I don't know what he's talking about, but
Because all anybody got to do as far as the first time is go back to that first time that Victor came on and see how it transpired. It's right there in black and white. We were on doing something else, and the whole sequence of events was being filmed.
Yeah. Marcus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm not sure why it's not connected to my headphones.
Oh, I can hear you. We can hear you. You're live in living color.
Right.
To my understanding, this is your first time up here, so welcome. Welcome to the Roller Tape podcast.
Salute. Thank you for having me,
Marcus.
Of course.
I'm gonna put me on mute.
So you said that there was clickbait in my videos, and you also said I criticized Blue Blood Sports TV and I adopted his style. I want the audience to understand what you were saying. I want to give you an opportunity to speak on it, and then I want to respond to it. So let's start with the first thing you said is I clickbait in my videos. Can you give me a specific video of where I'm clickbaiting at, or what video you're referring to?
So we don't have to go any further than the title of this video.
Mm-hmm.
So is the title of this video a statement or a question?
What difference does it make? I don't know. It could be a question or a statement.
It makes a huge difference if you're making a statement or if you're asking a question.
No, it doesn't.
Question mark? Sure it does. Words mean things. Context means things.
I agree.
Exclamation marks and question marks mean things.
I agree. But I don't put question marks and exclamation points in all of my titles.
Right.
I don't do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. To me, that's not clickbaiting. If I put a question out, is Crawford leaving the PBC? And I put a question mark, what difference does it make? When you come up here, I'm gonna ask you the question. If I put an exclamation point, I'm actually saying that is fact. But I don't have that as a fact because of the source, which we're going to address. So for me, to me, it's not about punctuation. And so I know you might look at it like that, Marcus, because I see at the end of your name, there is a punctuation, correct?
Absolutely.
You have an exclamation point after your name on the screen, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's how you may perceive things. In other words, is that there should be exclamation points and question marks after my title. But if you look at all of my content overall, and when I say content, I mean lives and published content, I don't use exclamation points or question marks all the time. It's just the title. It's just the title.
May I rebuttal?
Of course.
So that is the point that I'm making. So exclamation marks or question marks or periods signify a different meaning. If you put Crawford leaving the PBC question mark, that implies that you are unsure, that there is uncertainty about it, and that clicking on this video would lead to a conversation discussing the possibility. If you were to put an exclamation mark or a period, it would be a statement, meaning there's information upon clicking this video that would signify that Crawford is leaving the PBC. So my point is, when I consider something clickbait, it is about making a statement and then delivering on that promise. That is not happening in the title of this video.
I totally disagree with you, but I will give you an example. You can't find not one period in none of my content that I published unless I'm doing a quotation mark. If there's no quotation mark, I don't use periods. In none of my content, you can go back to the live I did Friday and all the other lives, you won't find a period at the end of none of my titles. You agree with that?
That's probable.
So you don't know.
I've not checked every single one of your videos, so I cannot say
Okay.
for a fact.
But what I'm basically telling you is on YouTube, see, because you're the only one that I see on YouTube that have an exclamation point at the end of your name. I don't see that nowhere else on no one's name. So to me, you have a vision or a visual of looking at grammar, and then you can say, I don't know if I would agree with that or not. Because based on your view, how you perceive grammar. But on YouTube, though, let's be just clear on something. On YouTube, most people don't look at titles and they don't police the grammar. They don't say, a period should have been here. He should have put a question mark here. Maybe he should have put an exclamation point there. Most people don't look at grammar and and have this ability to say, I'm just focused on the grammar. No, the job is to, hey, look at the thumbnail. Let the thumbnail intrigue you first. Then you look at the title. Once you look at the title, whatever's in the content should be inside of whatever's in the title should be inside of the content. That's how I do my channel. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you a content creator?
In a different field, yes.
Okay, let me reframe that. On YouTube, do you have content that you publish on YouTube?
I create content for businesses. I don't create content for storytelling or narratives.
I'm not. That's not what I'm asking. It's just a yes or no. I'm just trying to understand. Are you a content creator? I'm not asking about your industry. I'm just saying, do you create content?
I create content, but not in the same realm that you do. Yes.
Okay. So it's more likely that you don't create content on YouTube. In other words, is you don't publish content via YouTube. Is that fair to say?
It's not fair to say, and that's why I wanted to be accurate what I'm saying. So I create content for other clients on YouTube.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So when you create content for other clients of yours, you make sure that there's a punctuation or exclamation point or question mark, right?
For the most part.
Okay. And what I'm saying to you is that's what you do, Marcus. But just because that's what you do, Marcus, and that's how you view titles, right? It doesn't necessarily mean I'm clickbaiting if I don't do it. You mentioned Blue Blood. So let me tell you the difference between what I do and what Blue Blood has done. That I don't know if he changed his life around or whatever. I'm just talking about what I know because you brought his name up. When Blue Blood put things in the title and you click on it, sometimes and I'm only talking about the research that I've done only when I had to go back to see who he was and why was he throwing shots at me, for me to have a clear understanding of what his content is about.
Correct.
It was a lot of clickbait. In other words, it'd be something in the title, but then when you click on it, it's not that. For example, if he says Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, I'm not saying he done this, I'm just using this as an example.
Understood.
Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. And then as soon as you click on it, for that 10 minutes, he's talking about Manager Marty. He's throwing shots at me. He ain't talking about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. You see my point? There was the reason why he was doing that when it came to me is he never wanted to put my name in his titles. But then the heat was on and I shut him down. Now all of a sudden he started to put my name in his titles. He said he would never put my name in his titles, and he started to do that. What I'm saying is that that's clickbait. If your thumbnail and your title is not identical to what's in the content, to me, that's clickbait. If somebody refuses or intentionally or mistakenly omit using a question mark or an exclamation point or quotation marks or any other grammatical error that they may use or make, I don't think that's clickbait. So that part right there, I would totally have to disagree with you on that part.
I mean, it's fair for you to disagree, but again, a title is you're making a big promise to a potential viewer on what they will be investing their time and attention towards.
Yes.
And if you don't deliver on that by proving your statement or delivering on the content, like you said, because the reason I brought that person's name up is because those are the same reasons that I stopped consuming their content.
Okay.
And the only reason why I would say this to you is because I actually do respect the majority of the content that you created. And the way that you came onto the scene, you were delivering on your promise of the content. So what I'm saying is if I click on a Manager Marty video and I know that your brand is rolling the tape and telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and you say Terence Crawford leaving the PBC, I'm not thinking that it's a question, because if I know I'm clicking on Manager Marty's video, Manager Marty is going to break it down that Terence Crawford is leaving the PBC. If I see a video where it says expose Devin Haney on steroids, and I click on that video, I'm looking for the proof, because if it wasn't Manager Marty and it was, no disrespect to Mr. Gregory, because I don't know him, and I saw a video like that, I probably wouldn't click on it. I'd be like, oh, this is just a Devin Haney hater. But if I click on Manager Marty, who built his brand on speaking nothing but the truth and rolling the tape, and I have to question whether or not that promise that is in the title is being delivered on, that's when I say, oh, okay, I got to fall back. You wasting my time, because I don't need to have to make a decision on whether or not what you put in the title is the truth. And just because that's something that you don't do as far as the way you title your videos, and that's how you roll, it doesn't make it right. And that's why I'm saying I don't appreciate that, because again, if you're not delivering on the title of the video, just because you might be talking about Terence Crawford and the PBC in the video, if you don't deliver on the statement, it doesn't hold true.
Well, here's the difference with that. Have you been on my live before? Have you ever
I've
seen any of my lives?
a few. It's been a while, but a few.
Okay. So I format my lives a certain way, and I'm not going to give my strategy away. What I'm
Okay.
saying to you is, you just got here. So when you say I'm not delivering on the promise, we didn't even get there yet. What you talking about Crawford and PBC and Rick Glace and all, we didn't get there yet. We didn't get there yet. So it's not like I'm not delivering on a promise. But I had a question for you, since you're very definitive in what you're saying. Besides today, in the grammatical error that I made when I didn't put a question mark or a exclamation point, can you name another video? Because you said you watched a couple of pieces of my content. Can you name another video where I didn't deliver and I clickbaited?
I would say, and I can't say the specific title, but I can say it was about Terence Crawford and Devin Haney, saying that I think it said exposed steroid use or something like that.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, never said steroid use.
I
can
can't look
guarantee
it
you
up
that.
from on my phone because I'm on StreamYard.
No, that's okay. Just give me with the con. Go ahead.
But
I'm listening to you.
it was in reference to something of that sort, and then you broke down using evidence about Victor Conti bringing certain fighters into the snack program, and based on how they were performing in later rounds, that would signify that they were enhanced.
They
But
were enhanced, and even you know that, Marcus.
no, I can't say that.
Okay. So you're saying, are you talking about the video where I spoke on the snack fighters knocking down their opponents in the first 2 or 3 rounds? Is that the video you're referring to?
It may have been one of them, because you had a series going, and I tried to tune into a few
Oh,
of
the
them,
series. Oh, okay.
so I
So,
can't say exactly which one. So I don't want to
all
be
right. So the series, that wasn't it. I did do a 3-part series on Terence Crawford. I did another 3-part series on Devin Haney. I didn't drop the 3rd part yet. But if you're talking about the series that I've done with Terence Crawford, I don't really recall putting Devin Haney in that, but I will say this: every time, there's not one time, and I got thousands of people that's watching now and that's in this chat, hundreds of people. They will vouch for me. There's not one time since I've been on YouTube, and since you brought up Snack, let's just use Snack, that I talked about Snack where you clicked on that video and the title that was in that video or was in that thumbnail had nothing to do with that content. I stand by that, Marcus. You're entitled to your agreement, and that's fine. But anything you clicked on this channel, when you clicked on it, I gave you truth and evidence. I gave you everything that title and that thumbnail said it would do. I can't find one video of mine where I didn't do that. I never clickbaited.
And that's not what I said.
So what we talking about? If you was able to click on something after reading the title and I produced, what we talking about? I'm confused now.
I can make it simple. So you brought up the video where you spoke about fighters knocking down their opponent in the first 2 rounds, and that their
second and third round.
Yeah, second and third round.
Yes.
And that their performances were enhanced. What was the name of that? What was the title of that video?
Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up. See, and this is what I love about what I do here. Because a lot of times, Marcus, and you have to agree with this since you help other people create content, people will just look at the title and won't even click on the content. They'll look at the title and then they'll start making comments based on what the title say. You've seen that before several times, haven't you, Marcus?
I can say that, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure we was clear. So I'm going to try to pull that video up where I said that, because I can't actually remember the exact title. But go ahead. I'm listening to you prove your point.
Oh no, I can only prove my point once I have the title of the video. You asked me about specific videos, and I wanted to give you.
Well, you're supposed to have all this evidence. I mean, why do I got to do the research? You're coming up here challenging me. You should have all the research. I mean, why should I have to stop the middle of my show to watch to get all this evidence to go find out what title was? I mean, you coming at me saying this is what I do. You should already have all the information. I mean, you agree with that, right, Marcus? Honestly.
Well, you invited me up and I answered the call.
I know, but I asked you a question. Do you agree with what I just said? That you should have evidence when you confronting somebody, you should already be prepared to have that. You mentioned all this in the chat. That's why I invited you up here. I thought you had all the evidence. You see what I'm saying? The burden of proof is on you. You're accusing me. So the burden of proof is on the accuser. You would agree with that, right?
Yes. So like I was saying.
No. You paused for a minute. You hesitated.
I don't need to hesitate. I'm being respectful because I wasn't sure if you were done. And to be honest and respectful as possible. You
don't have a choice to be respectful to me, Marcus. I've never disrespected you, brother.
Exactly. And you have an animated style. This is your show. And like I told you, I respect a lot of the work that you do. So I wanted to make sure that you were done so that I could say my piece without being interrupted.
No problem. But just can you at least answer my question real quick? So if you are accusing me, do you agree that you should have the evidence when you're presenting your thesis and statement and proof to the one that you're accusing?
It would serve me well to make that happen.
Do you have the evidence on you now?
I literally already proved my point within the first 5 minutes of me being on the panel.
No. You think you proved your point, but we do truth and evidence here. So do you have the evidence?
I literally did that part.
So you don't have, so you're not going to answer me. So you don't have evidence.
No, I have evidence. And
well, what's the name of the title? Okay, hold up. What's the name of the title then? I don't want to look at my title. I did my work already. What's the name of the title you referring to now? About when I said second round, third round with snack fighters. What's the name of the title? I'll look it up after you tell me.
I already told you I don't know the specific name of that, but
right. So that's my point. You see, we don't want to waste any more time on the segments here, y'all. See, I'm cut. See, listen, Manager Marty, I give people the opportunity to come on up, but I can't keep wasting a whole show of going around the board. I didn't even get enough super chats yet to pay the bills. You know what I mean? So we can't keep wasting our time. The viewership is increasing exponentially. We can't keep wasting our time. The man don't have evidence. This segment, Mr. Greg, is called Truth and Evidence. He came up here and didn't have it. So why do I got to go and search and do all of this? This is his accusing of me. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. I'm the defendant. They accusing me, and he didn't have it. So there's no point of going all around the board.
Yeah.
You know, we got to deal with reality. We got to deal with it.
And
Now,
I hate saying it.
Huh?
I hate saying it, but it's just like Victor. They want it all one way.
It's not going to be that. Not over here.
Exactly.
It's just not.
If you come in to challenge or to have a different point of view, even if you don't, and we disagree, but have your point of view and then show it up with something. He wanted you to do his work.
Not doing it. I play this game a little bit for entertainment purposes.
That's why I said let me get out the way so you don't see my expressions while y'all talking.
Yes, we have a couple of people in the background that want to come on. I'm going to invite them on. I got to do a double salute to my guy, Mr. Lucky McKennels. Double salute to him because he's a day one supporter of the channel, and he also was here in the very beginning of me putting this whole YouTube together. So Lucky is my guy. Thank you for your contribution and your support, Lucky. Lucky says, sometimes when I watch TV, it might say the basketball game is on. But when I go to that channel, baseball is still on. So I turn it off. In other words, Marcus, leave the channel if you don't like it. Those are the words of my guy, Lucky McKennels. I got my guy. Oh, he's not here. Shaheed Elvis in the back. We got Vibes and we have Stevens in the back. I wanted to be able to, real quick, for the new audience. We got a new audience. I mean, this live is, oh my goodness. Shaheed is back. We got a great live, Mr. Greg. Stay right there, Mr. Greg, because I know we have more super chats that's coming on the forefront of this live. We're going to put this thing together. I love entertaining the people, y'all. Can't you see it? I want to be able to put this back on the screen before I let my guests that's in the background, like Shaheed L is here, Vibes, Stevens is here. Let me put this back on the screen for those that are newly joining in. I already published this about an hour ago, but I'm redoing it for those of you that just came in. This happened on Friday. This is what we're talking about in our segment called Truth and Evidence. This is a segment that I periodically bring out before we get to the entree of the channel. And this is where we are today. On Friday, I was already live, and Mr. Victor Conti, he commented on a video, not the live itself, because we were on here live, but he commented on a different video that I published earlier that day. And this is what he said. In my opinion, Mr. Marty should change his name to Captain Clickbait. Marty is basically a fraud who represents himself as a journalist with integrity. What Marty actually does is take small clips of video that are taken out of context and add sensational titles and headlines that do not even match the content of the video. Manager Marty is creating suspicion where there actually is none. This is basically a channel full of fraudulent statements attracting uninformed fanboys who help, quote unquote, Captain Clickbait make some small time money for posting sensational titles. Those were the words from the author himself, Mr. Victor Conti. Now, I'm going to add my guy, Shaheed L. He's here. Vibes is also here. And we're waiting for Corn Stevens, whoever he is, to show his face so that we can add him to the screen in the stream as well. But in the meantime and in between time, Shaheed L., what's going on with you, my brother?
Shaheed.
Peace and love to everybody on the panel. Peace, my brother Gregory Quattlebaum. How you doing, man? Peace, vibes.
You healing well?
Yeah, man. I start walking next month, man. So I appreciate you giving me that love on that ZMA 5, man, because I've been getting my rest finally, man. I appreciate you. Good. Salute to you, man.
Good.
Salute to you, Shaheed L. Shaheed L., you and Vibe was in the background. I placed on the screen the words of Victor Conti himself. What did you think about the words that I just read in a comment that Victor Conti made on Friday here on this channel?
Well, cause and effect. You the cause of getting the effects of this man being exposed. And then you got individuals that were just on the channel who he may have sent to come up here, you know, and not have all his facts together. Where did that guy come from? Where are all these people coming from? It's all of a sudden all these people coming out the woodwork. He respects you and said that he respected you when he was on your channel. Now all of a sudden you sending disrespectful, you know, little text and stuff in the inboxes and whatnot, you know what I mean, on the channel. Now you go from respecting you to disrespecting you, calling you Captain Clickbait. So if you Captain Clickbait, what does that make him? What does that make Victor Conti? If you Captain Clickbait, he came on your channel, what does that make him? But is he Captain Clickbait Part 2? What is he? He came on your channel, respectfully, for 5 hours worth of content, correct?
Yeah.
You got him shook up, bro. And he's sending these people on your channel because you exposing him. Humans don't like to be exposed, and he's one of them individuals that's being exposed off of facts. The brother came on the channel just now, not having no facts. You gave him ample opportunity to present his facts that his alleged facts that he claimed that he had. And when you asked him simple questions, he couldn't give you a simple yes or no. He kept beating around the bush or beating around the question. So, in my outlook, you got the world shook up on this, bro. And I salute you, quadruple salute you, as if I have 4 arms. You need to continue to do this because these people such as Victor Conti and the people who follow individuals such as Conti are being exposed. And it's plain to see. There's no way around it.
Understood. Salute to you. Thank you for your perspective. Vibes, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's not wrong to be suspicious. I'm old school. I don't see nothing wrong with being suspicious. Is it wrong to be suspicious? Or is we know it works, but if we suspicious, I mean, are you suspicious of Terence Crawford? Are you suspicious of Devin Haney? Or are you suspicious? Listen, man, I've been around a long time. I'm 80 years old. Born in 1942. I'm 80 years old. I've been around boxing to see the old great ones. But I'm just asking, is it okay to be suspicious? You can't be guilty to be suspicious of Terence Crawford or Devin Haney. Let me ask you this question, Marty. Are you suspicious of Nonito Donaire being with Snack?
Is that question to me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Manager Marty? Yes, sir.
If I answer your question, will you answer mine?
Okay.
If I answer your question.
Are you suspicious of Nonito Donaire?
If I answer your question, would you answer mine?
Sure, brother. Old school will answer any question you want.
All right. I'm not suspicious of Nonito Donaire.
But he's been with Snack for a long time.
Well, wait a minute. I answered your question. Isn't it my turn to ask you a question?
Yes, sir. Respectively.
People in the chat wanted to ask you a question. Are you wearing a mask right now?
No, sir. I'm 80 years old. I born 1942.
We need answers. So I'm asking because people think that you're trolling right now.
No, sir. I'm old. I keep telling you I'm old school. And I'm giving you my date when I was born.
I'm just asking because here's the problem I have. You said you were how old again?
80 years old, 1942, October.
1942.
Yes, sir.
I see.
I'll be at 81 in October.
81. I have 2 issues here.
Yes,
Look at
sir.
his neck. Look at his neck. It don't even match his skin, bro.
Hold on. I got something. I got 2 issues here. I haven't seen not one person past the age of 65 that's a part of my demographics that watch this channel.
Well, hey, I'm a lucky one.
Oh, I see. Oh, you are lucky. The second one is
Man,
you said you're how old again?
99 years old.
No. How old are you again?
80 years old.
You're 80 years old. Let me tell you the issue that I have. You're
Yes.
80 years old and you use the word respectfully. Did I just hear you say that?
Respectfully, I'm trying to get with the good times now. I have a vibes for the young.
Yes, you see, what they try to do, Shaheed and Mr. Greg, is they try to listen, Mr. Pragmatic, they can't up with me. They got to
saw what I
use
was writing.
people with masks. They got to use props. They got to use lies. They got to use spies. They can't up with me on YouTube, man.
I had to put my glasses on because as soon as I saw them come up, that's why I put something is wrong here.
They cannot
Did you see
up with
neck?
me, man.
Brother
Yeah.
Greg, you see his neck? The discoloration? Did you see that right there?
I saw it right away. I was like, something's wrong. At least it wasn't the dude that had the porno shot. That's what I was thinking it was going to turn into.
I got a feeling I know exactly who that was. I don't want to accuse that man. I don't want to accuse him. He knows that he's banned from the studio here. He can't come up here. He's still stealing my content every day. But I don't know if that was him. But I like entertainment, Shaheed, so sometimes I let it go on. He pushed his glasses up and I seen his hand. How your hand not old, bro? Come on, man, stop. Stop
You
it.
see, I ain't mean to butt in, bro. I ain't mean to butt in. I
Cool.
think you peeped the same thing that me and Brother Greg.
When your head was down, that's when I realized you knew what time it was all along. Because you had your head down. I say he's laughing because I'm laughing. But it was the old lady glasses that first gave him away before I even started looking at the mask. Attached to the nose was attached to the glasses.
You got him shook up. I told you, Brother Marty. I told you got him shook up, bro. You know what comes with that.
Listen, man. They can't up with me, man. When it comes to YouTube, content creator to content creator, dialogue to dialogue, entertainment for entertainment, articulation for articulation, they can't up with me without the F on it. They can't. This what we come to now. We supposed to be talking about boxing. This is what we come to now, Mr. Grant.
Yep.
This is what it boiled down to.
Yep. That's where when you come out of nowhere.
I done dropped my backdrop playing with that old fake man. Man, that's my show up, man. Man.
That's what happens.
It's my joint, man.
When you come out and you hit the ground running and it's serious, and everybody else who been there already starts copying you. Because all of them now trying to get interviews. They talking about so-and-so, Gary, come on the interview. Everybody trying to do panels. None of them was doing any of that. None of them. And then they see somebody new, they'll set a standard. I mean, it's nothing wrong with copying. Just to say, hey, I'm trying to catch up. Dude done showed me how I can be better. But what they do, they act like they was already doing this all along, and you just come along and you following behind them, but they're following behind you.
I just try to entertain the people.
That's difficult for people who think they hear to say somebody back here who just came along showing me something new. You should actually be acknowledging that. Let me get this brother on because I can learn something from him, or even if it's a lady, it don't matter. And see, that's the same. I know I'll try to reel myself in because I know you're gonna still talk about Heyman and PBC and so forth. So I'll wait till you get to that segment. But this is very similar, and I'll say what I'm gonna say when you get to that segment.
Yeah. Double salute, Mike Rushing. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel.
He said exactly who you were thinking about, too.
Hey, Mike Rushing. He said that voice sounded like your boy Malachi. I'm going to keep it 100. I don't think it was him. Where my man Biz at? I think Biz, I put it up on the screen. Where Biz go at? I'm going to tell you who I think that was. Here you go. That's who I thought that was. I thought that was him. That's who I thought that was. I don't think that was Malachi. But the thing about it is, I noticed all people got to do is insult you, call you names, disrespect you, discredit you, come up here with theatricals, masks on, false narratives, whatever y'all got going on. Y'all cannot defeat this right here. Truth and evidence. You ain't going to be able to do nothing with that. You see? Nobody was doing panels. Thank you, Mr. Greg, and my man, Mr. Pratt. Nobody. When you go back and look at World Combat Sports, he don't even show his face. The man don't show his face. He probably do now. I don't know. I don't go on his content. But all this time, he didn't show his face. But when Rick Glaser came up here and he started tap dancing with Rick Glaser, he reached out to Rick to get Rick Glaser on his channel. And all of a sudden, he started showing his face trying to interview Rick because they was throwing shots at me, him and Rick Glaser. Come on. Everybody keeps switching up their pitch. I told everybody, Shaheed Ellis, 2024 now, y'all gotta level up. I got the hottest intro on YouTube. Y'all gotta level up, man. This where we at now? Boy, I love entertainment. So that's why I was putting my head down laughing like, they can't be serious. they can't be serious. But it's
I seen Brother Greg doing the same thing. Brother Greg was doing the same thing. When you put your head down, I knew it was some fluky stuff, man. But you called it a long time ago, Manager Marty, when you said you got to show your face. That's why he came on there, because they know your protocols to be respectful on the channel. If you can't show who you are, only a masked being is scared to show who they truly are on that Medusa stuff, man. If you can't show your face and who you are, then you trying to hide something. So you pulling the veil off these dudes, man. Like Brother Greg said. He knew what it was. Brother Greg put his head down too, because I think he was laughing as well. Like, man, this dude is fake. And you can see his neck. You can see his neck. It was discolored. It was a mask.
Yeah.
And his voice sounded familiar. He sounded like the boy, I'm telling you, that probably was him. 80-year-old men don't say Bobs. That ain't their names on YouTube. They don't say Bobs. 80-year-old men don't say respectfully. I heard him say that. And I said, well, why are you saying respectfully? And you know what he said? Oh, I'm trying to catch up with the times. When you 80, you ain't trying to keep up with no Times or no Joneses. You came here to hear boxing, and that's what we do. And speaking of that, Robert Taylor, I see you in the chat, my brother. He said he's 72 years old, and he watched this channel every day. So old men do watch me. And I double salute to you, Mr. Robert. I got to call you Mr. because you said you're 72 years old. I'm not saying, Mr. Rob, that older men don't watch the channel. What I'm saying is older men is not going to watch this channel and play games like that other guy just did just now. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got another super chat. Hold on, let's get to it.
Oh yeah, get that.
Double salute to the first member of the channel, day one supporter, my guy, Mr. Pragmatic. Thank you for your support and contribution. Mr. Greg says, last week there was a fake thug on the panel. Today, a fake old man. Boy, I tell you, you know, the thing is, as long as the audience is being entertained, as long as y'all learning something. See, I don't care about all this other stuff if you ain't learning nothing. If you learning something from this channel, I'm going to come on here every opportunity I get and produce fresh bread for you. Now, speaking of that, we got the deal with what the title said, and that is that Rick Glaser, I mean, he's coming out with all of these different theories about the PBC, as he always does, I guess, every day. When I found out about earlier, I found out about some of the things that he said. Now, I tried to cross-reference it to make sure I had my facts and evidence, my truth and evidence, before I come up here and say Rick Glaser said something and I didn't see it with my own eyes on X, formerly known as Twitter. But of course, as we all know, Rick Glaser, he actually blocked me on Twitter months ago. So I can't even see nothing that he says. The thing about it is, all the stuff that Rick Glaser is saying it's funny to me, and I'll share with you all why it's funny to me. But before I do that, I want to read some of the things that he said for people that didn't get an opportunity to go on X, formerly known as Twitter, to see what Rick Glaser actually said. Salute to my guy G. Thank you for your super sticker, G, and your contribution and your support to the channel. Thank you so much, my guy. All right, let me see. Since I did mention Terence Crawford's name in the title, and the guy Marcus, he came up, and I guess I didn't have my grammatical errors omitted from the title, but let me see. I'm gonna read the one that says the one he put Terence Crawford's name in it, and then we're going to move forward with it. I want your take, Mr. Greg and Shaheed, and people in the chat that's watching live and living color, and those of you that are watching the replay of this live, go in the comment section. You are entitled and enriched right now to engage as well with the content. Now, Rick Glaser, put it up on your screen here so y'all can see that's him. I'm not making any of this up. That was sent to me by a member of the channel, the Road to Tape film crew member. I'm blocked from his Twitter, so I couldn't see it. The big name fighters are starting to jump ship on the financially floundering PBC. First was Deontay Wilder, and then Ray Vargas. And now it's IBF World Junior Welterweight Champ, Sabril Matias. But plus nothing declaratory from Terence Crawford. But he's now technically a free agent. And Canelo is now questioning who is putting up his guarantees. The smart ones are jumping ship. Those were the words of Rick Glaser. I'm going to read another one. Vince's comments, whoever he was, but Vince's comments are spot on. The gall of Al Heyman to put Keith Thurman's name before WBO World Champ Tim Tszyu. The big question is, why is Amazon allowing these shenanigans by PBC? Or doesn't Amazon know any better in regards to boxing? This Amazon PBC deal is bound to implode. Those are the words of Rick Glaser. There's about 4 other ones, but I'm not going to read it. I think we've heard enough from that guy. I'll give my take. I'll start with you, Mr. Greg. Time and time again, we've heard Rick Glaser go on Twitter, and he keeps saying this stuff about PBC for the last, since I've been on YouTube. He probably was doing that before I got on here, but he just keeps doing this every day, disrespecting Al Heyman. He has a problem with Al Heyman for over 24 years. He keeps basically shooting the PBC down every chance that he gets, whether they make a new deal or leave out of one deal. What's your take on all the stuff that you just heard me read about Rick Glaser?
I'll say this about Rick. All of his feelings is colored by the personal issue that he has with Al Heyman that goes back to the concert days. He's not going to get any better with this. In terms of how he goes after PBC, he's not the only one. And I'm one who says all promoters should be subject to criticism when they don't do what they should do. Nobody should be above that. But what's different of what they're doing with PBC is because PBC is the biggest promoter out there. They have most of the best fighters out there that everyone does talk about. So they got the big target on their head. They've changed how fighters are compensated, because there was a time that fighters weren't getting their money that they had signed for. So they have forced the game to change because they did it first. They made them, fighters were getting $1 million. I mean, it was just beautiful to me to see a guy like a Keith Thurman with $1 million check in the bank, not knowing what to do, because he never had it before. But that was not happening prior to PBC. So fighters were getting money. Yeah, they've gotten spoiled by it. Yeah, that's another issue altogether. But they were getting paid, and they were getting paid first. So Golden Boy had to, we got to start paying them too. Bob had to start paying them. They complained about it. Look how he complained about Terence. He continued to complain about Terence. but he still had to pay him because that's how the game had been changed now. So it seems to me, and has always been my feeling, is the way you get back, bring these fighters back under control, stop them from talking about business, is you get PBC out of there. You get PBC to fail in some kind of way, because you can talk things into existence by continuously telling a lie after a lie or allegation after allegation, to where people start talking about it as though they are facts. Rick Glacier's anger or personal animus toward Al Heyman is helping to fuel that. Then you have fighters who might be a little salty. They may say something because they're in their feelings from time to time, and then they'll add that to the mix. But all of this is to say, nobody has done the good things that PBC has done. PBC at one point had multiple platforms that they can showcase their fighters. There may have been too many, but that's besides the point. You were getting a chance to see them in different platforms when they first came onto the scene. You got to see that fighters were making money because you saw them driving their luxury cars and so forth and so on. That was PBC. At one time, you had a handful of fighters. You had Ray, you had Oscar, maybe you had Tyson. You saw their wealth and so forth in their cars and jewelry. Well, now you saw guys who might not have risen to the same height as those three, but were still living that lifestyle. You know, they had these things, they were enjoying the fruits of their labor in the ring, and maybe they weren't fighting as much, so they weren't getting beat up a lot, but they were still enjoying that. So there's a jealousy, there's an envy. And then you have somebody, Al Heyman is probably a more sophisticated version in many ways of, say, what Don King was when Don King was running the entire game. Okay, he was making the fights. The difference with Don and Al is making sure guys get paid a little bit better than Don did. And when you have those dimensions, when you have those elements out there, the other guys don't want to do it. They don't want to pay fighters. They would rather keep fighters here. Let me help you pay your child support, and I'll deduct it from your next purse. But your mama needs some money. Let me give you that too. So they rather spoon feed them, keep them under control, keep them from talking too much, keep them from learning, so they can have control of this game. This is why you're not going to have a one commission, because everybody wants to keep control of their little part of the pie that they have. But Al has changed that a lot. He has made fighters start to look at their promoters like, wait a minute, what about this residual revenue? What about the overseas money? How come I'm not getting that? How come you get paid in perpetuity because you can put the fights on demand for years? I don't get none of that. Wait a minute. Let me start looking at all of that now. Most of the time, they like to keep the help just helping. Don't look over here. That this for us, and we the suits over here. You just go out there and fight. Don't worry about what we doing. We're gonna send you a little something, and that's not happening anymore. Yes, they're making mistakes when they start to talk it, but the point is they're starting to learn. And when the guys who are in charge have to now explain themselves to the guys they thought they have in trouble, that they were having under control, it becomes a problem. So what we're going to do, let's get rid of Al. Let's find a way to push him out. The Amazon deal, we don't even know what the deal is like yet. We know what the first card is going to be about, but we have no idea how long he had been talking to Amazon to structure the deal that they were going to get. This deal didn't just happen overnight. We was hearing about, and if you watch the business news, you knew Showtime was making a lot of moves as late as at the end of 2022. So he wasn't just, okay, damn, they get ready to go out of business. Let me run and find somebody. There were discussions. These things don't happen overnight. Businessmen sit down with other businessmen and hammer out a deal based on what the conditions are. And whatever the conditions are between Al Heyman and Amazon, they were able to make that deal and then announce it. Now, I believe Bob is coming up soon, where he's going to have have a problem with ESPN. As a matter of fact, I think all ESPN fights are already going to be on Thursday because the last two have been on the Thursday. So something is already beginning to take shape over there. Eddie Hearn's been having some issues too. People don't realize the zone. The first problem Eddie Hearn, I believe, had with the zone was, is it the zone or was it Oscar? Was that Canelo wasn't getting the deal that he originally signed for. So everybody's having some struggles. It's just right now they still trying to keep you focused only on Al Heyman because he's the biggest. So you take down the biggest, and then you can tell your fighters, well, you see what happened to them, so you better start listening to me. This is how I'm seeing it. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but I don't believe that I am. Nevertheless, the big guy is the one who has the big target on his back. He's the one who's changed the game. He's the one that's getting fighters paid. And everybody outside of that, be their promoter or be their Rick Glazer or anybody else who has a problem with Al Heyman. And sometimes it's from the concert days. And I understand some of that because I knew of some of that. But nevertheless, I say we're gonna have to wait and see because they've been predicting the demise of Al Heyman ever since he came on the scene, and they still want that to happen. They can't change it now. You know, they invested into it and keep going, and they're gonna keep going. And as soon as something really big goes wrong, then they're gonna say, "See," and that's really what it is. It's a shame that you let little pettiness and ego and envy and jealousy gets in the way, because to me, the promoters should have been getting together and say, listen, let's see how we can make this industry, this business work well for all of us, where there can be more money. But instead, everybody's just holding on to their little piece of the table that they're at and don't want to do anything that's going to make it better for us. This is why these channels are very important. The more you start showing stuff, the more fans start recognizing what they're buying and start making demands with their dollars and with their time in terms of viewing. Ultimately, things will get better. But it's going to be a struggle, and it's going to be a whole bunch of, it's going to be some casualties. I don't know who's left PBC. I haven't heard any public announcements, be it Crawford, be it Wilder, be it anyone who's left PBC. The only person I know that left PBC was Jacobs. It was years ago.
Yep.
Now, he talked about that, though. He said it wasn't no thing. They shook hands, and he moved on. He got a couple of fights, but you see where his position is right now. I mean, if you know anything, Jacobs haven't been really big on the scene since he had those last two fights.
Right.
So that's how I see it.
You got it. Okay. Shaheed L, you heard the things that I said about the tweets that Rick Glazer published on X, formerly known as Twitter. What's your take on all that, Shaheed?
Like I said, it goes back to you having the world shook up again. And the comments that was made by Rick Glazer, you know, is in response to him being butthurt off of you exposing him. And similar to what Brother Greg said, as far as Rick Glazer, you know, and the PBC, everybody has something foul to say about Al Heyman. And I don't really got much to say about it, but Gregory Quattlebaum pretty much said everything that I thought about this coming for Al Heyman and him running the boxing game. He took it back to the days of Don King when he was running it. For everybody, he's a target. Al Heyman's a target. All the fighters were happy. We don't know any fighter that ever left the PBC besides Jacobs, as he just mentioned. So when we look at this, it goes back to the backstage where Spence and Crawford met up, and he said, you know, well, he liked you, speaking about Bob Arum. And Spence said, I know, he tried to sign me. And then he said, how are we going to make the fight to Bud Crawford when Bob Arum said that Al don't exist? So we knew right then and there that it was personal, with the other promotional companies such as Top Rank. When he said that Al Heyman doesn't exist, what do you mean they don't? That Al Heyman doesn't exist? You already had a fight with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So how is it that Al doesn't exist when we know that Al was the man and that all the PBC fighters were making money? And you got to think about it. None of the PBC fighters were complaining about being promoted or none of that. It was over there on Top Rank end to where Bud Crawford was saying that, you know, he wasn't being promoted right. Bud Crawford was the one that's up over there that signed twice back in 2018 with Bob Arum. You know, so like Gregory Quattlebaum said earlier, Al Heyman has a target on his head, and that's my outlook on that. You know what I'm saying? They'll call us conspiracy theorists, but clearly, you know, it was said out of Bob Arum's mouth that Al Heyman didn't exist, which we know Al Heyman does exist because he was the one that's running the game. And what it's more personal when it comes time to business of boxing, and they're making business personal when it shouldn't be. And they're showing and proving that their hand is personal rather than doing business. That's, I yield the floor.
All right, very well stated. I'm going to give my prognosis of all of this after the other two gentlemen speak on this. COE Films, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? What's up? I was just I was tuning in because I was listening to you earlier, but just to bounce in on what you're talking about, what Rick Glacier was talking about.
Before you get there, though, if I can, CEO, because I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
I am aware that you mentioned something about me not saying anything about the snack program before Crawford. I know you're a Crawford fan and all that. What were you talking about, though?
Well, you know, I know you've been riding Crawford pretty hard, man, and there's a lot of things that you done brought up as far as him dealing with snack and accusation of other supplements that's being, you know, that he using to help, how should I say, get him past the big fights, you know.
Accusations?
Yeah, it's all, everything is alleged, right? Everything is alleged, right? There's no truth in it, right? That's what we're speaking on, right? Everything is alleged, right? No fact.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, but yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Some of the things that you were saying was being perceived as him juicing and him doing this and him, you know, dealing with Victor Conte and all different other type of supplements being given to him. You know, so I guess a lot of that was being perceived by a lot of people that watch your channel. It was being perceived as he is juicing. You know what I mean? 'Cause you could just listen to some of the people in your chat, the way they were talking. You know, some of them saying that he's juicing and doing all this. I'm like, how do you know he's juicing?
Well, let me ask you a question.
That's a strong statement, and you know, it all stems back to when you first started this. I remember talking to you specifically. I remember it was when you first started this, and you was talking about. This was right after the fight.
Go ahead.
And this was right after the fight when you were saying that, you know, he didn't look the same. You know, Crawford, he never knocked anybody out like that in that fashion. He never looked like that. And you started it right then, and then you got to talking about Snack and him dealing with Snack, and he was a sponsor fighter. Not a sponsor fighter. You were saying that he was on the Snack program. He was.
Did you agree with me, CEO? Did you agree with me when I first was saying that he's with the Snack program? Did you agree originally when you talked to me? Be honest.
When I talked to you, I told you that he was like everybody that's on the Snack program. They was being sponsored.
That what you said, right?
Yeah, they was being sponsored.
And then I proved to you, that. Hold on. I'm glad you brought that up because you was one of the ones that said, no, he's just being endorsed. That's what you said. Oh, no, he's just wearing a logo. You said he ain't taking his supplements. No, he's just endorsing it. And then I proved to you and other Bud Crawford fans that when he went to Joe Rogan, he himself said that he was with the snack program, and y'all still didn't believe. I told y'all he was working in the snack gym. I put the picture up when he was in the gym with Victor Conti right there on your screen, and next to Devin Haney, and some of y'all did not still believe. And then, and then Terence Crawford himself was asked about the edge that snack gives, and he said, "I use certain things with snack. I use certain things with snack that other fighters don't use." He told y'all that, and y'all still didn't want to believe. See, the problem is COE Films is y'all are scared to use the operative word.
No. Listen. I remember vividly, and I remember specifically. I told you, I said, Victor Conte, he has fighters that's on his program, the snack program, such as Demetrius Andre, Boots. I named Devin Haney. I named several more, and I was saying that he have supplements. That's true. He have a line of products that you could take, similar to the things that you can get from GNC. You can get from any other.
And then I told you what?
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Any place that you can get from any health nutrition spot. So my whole thing was to you. You was like, you and Mr. Greg. You was like, well, why would you associate yourself with Victor Conte? And my thing that I was telling you is like, man, listen, you can't hold that man accountable or just because he did something in the past, and now that he done served his time, he done did what he did, you can't still hold him accountable for what he did back then up to now.
But I'm not though. But see,
but that's what you was doing though.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Let me show you. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Hey, let me show you. Everything Victor Conti did back then, he's still doing it now. You agree with that?
Okay, hold up. No.
Yes or no, brother. We don't have to do this.
No, he's not.
Do you agree that he's doing? Huh?
No.
Say no more. Okay, hold on.
No, hold on. Now, see, you interrupt me. You interrupt me. That I was getting my. See, that's what you do, man.
I have to do that because I see you're trying to mislead to the people.
No, I'm not I'm telling you
said
exactly.
When I first brought this up, be honest. You said the man was not taking nothing. He's just endorsing him.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape. Go roll it all the way back. I did not say he wasn't taking nothing. I said this right here. I said, man, just because at that point we didn't know nothing.
No, you didn't know nothing. No, I knew everything.
So you knew everything, right?
Of course.
So what you're telling me is that, okay, Boo Boo Andre.
No, Terence Crawford. You're a fan of Crawford. No. Terence Crawford.
See, okay, go ahead.
You a fan of Crawford? Let's stay on him.
What you mean? I'm a fan of Crawford. I'm a fan of Devin. I'm a fan of Boo Boo. I'm a fan of all of them. So,
well, I'm a fan of Crawford when we talk.
I'm a fan of Boots. No, what I'm saying is you can't. What my whole point with you was, don't come after the fight and bring up something this man been doing his whole career.
So what?
Knocking out people.
He ain't never knocked nobody out but David Ebenezer, and you know it.
Oh my God! So he ain't been stopping nobody, man.
Wait, which one is it? Stopping or knocking them out? Which one is it?
So okay, stop both of them, stopping and knocking them out. It don't matter. This is what he's been doing.
It does matter. It
does.
Well, you go on box
he beat the shit out of him. He's been beating the crap out of him. Then he's been beating the mess out of him.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying it does matter. It does matter, Films.
No, it don't. Because this man got a 100% knockout ratio in the welterweight division.
Okay.
You won't say that though. I
will say that.
Up.
All right, I'm gonna say it now.
Okay.
He had a 100% TKO and knockout ratio, but
hold up.
But the last 3 fights, his performance was enhanced. I asked you, why did he go to Victor?
Come on,
why did he go to Victor Conti? What did you tell me? Be honest. Don't let me go other thing and pull it up. What did you tell me when I in the beginning, months ago? Huh?
I said some money. I said money, right? You remember?
Of course.
I said, okay, and didn't Victor say that?
No, before Victor. No. I want to stay on what you said first, back in August. When I said, why did he go over there? What did you say? Be honest.
I said he could be. I said because of the money, he could be endorsed. Because at that time, nobody didn't know.
I was telling you that he was taking the supplements, and you didn't believe.
No, I did not say that I didn't believe that, man. My own thing.
You was disagreeing with me, bro, when I told you he was with the program.
I was just he was with the pro, but my thing is, don't make it because of Snack. The reason why he looked this way, bro. He been knocking these fighters and stopping these fighters.
Was he tested for VADA?
He just tested for
VADA? I'm asking you a question. Was he tested for VADA?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
That doesn't raise suspicion to some people.
What about Tank? I'm
talking about Crawford. See, you keep moving the goalposts. COE.
But my thing is, if you're gonna have this
Crawford,
energy, have it for everybody.
Is
bro.
that suspicious?
Don't just have it for Crawford, bro.
I'm having it for everybody at Snack. It ain't just him. I just started with him. So I'm asking you, is that suspicious for some people to have suspicions and say, "Damn, the bull wasn't tested while he was with the Snack"? That's not suspicious to you?
No, it's not suspicious.
No problem.
Man.
That's because you're a fan. No problem. Let me ask you another question.
See, no
problem. So when was you going to come? All right, cool. So COE, you said in August, and I can pull it up. You said that when I asked you, why did Crawford go over there with Victor Conte? You said he went over there to be endorsed to get money from him. And I said to you, the man is on the actual program. He's working out. He's taking the supplements. He's doing whatever else that Victor got him doing over there. And it's enhancing his performance. And you said no. So when was you going to come back up here and admit?
Hold on. I said no. Hold on now.
You said that wasn't true.
I said I didn't know at that point because you brought it up. I said if you got Boots, you got Andre, you got Haney, you got all these guys that's with the Snack program,
yes.
Right? And and your thing was, why would he associate himself with Victor Conte if Victor Conte has had this reputation from the past? And
no, I didn't say from the past. I didn't say that. I said he had a reputation. It wasn't from the past.
What was the reputation then? What was his reputation?
Some of the same things that he was doing back then, he's still doing them now.
No. What was the reputation you're talking about?
Hold on, let me let Shaheed back.
You asked me why would he? You said why would he
go over there? And
why would he go over there?
You said for the money.
Why not?
And I've been telling you over and over again, he was on the program, he was taking the supplements, he was doing all this stuff, and Victor Conte finally comes over and he confirms it. Terence Crawford himself confirmed it, and you never came back up here and said, Manager Marty, you were right. Why didn't you do that?
Hold up, Marty. Now you twisting it now, because at that point of time, after the fight, nobody knew what was going on.
No, you didn't know. I knew already, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, you said that you knew, right?
Yeah.
So tell me this. Why
you moving the goalposts and answer my question? I asked you a question first. Can you at least answer mine? Why didn't you come back up here? Crawford confirmed that he's taking the products. He confirmed that he's with Snack on Joe Rogan. Victor Conte came up here twice.
I heard
let me finish. Hold on. Victor Conte came up here twice within 7 days, 5 hours. He confirmed it. When was you going to come up here and say, Manager Marty, you were right?
But Marty, you are right that he was taking some of the supplements.
But when was you going to come and say it though? When was you going to come out and say it?
Marty, I've been came on your show, man.
You ain't never come up here and say, Manager Marty, you was right about this.
Marty, come on, man. Listen, I showed you some love on your shit, and you know.
But you ain't never say I was right.
But my whole thing about it, Marty,
you trying to move it. You trying to move away from that.
My whole thing to you, Marty, was, man, listen, you dealing with somebody that's greatness, bro. That's this man. We probably never see nothing like this. Probably.
Who are you talking about? Victor Conte?
No, Crawford.
Crawford? Oh, he's a good fighter.
But my thing was, why would you even associate yourself with saying some of the things you were saying? Because you was like, why would he associate himself with Victor Conte, knowing the past that he had? Roll the tape.
And what else did I say? What else did I say?
And I said this after you said that. I said, man, you cannot hold somebody accountable for what they did in the past. If
you leaving the piece out though, CO, you
what piece? Tell me what piece I'm leaving out.
Why would he go over there when 3 years before he went over there, Willie Monroe tested positive for a banned substance under him in 2018?
Under who? So hold up, but did Victor Conte? Did Victor Conte give him that?
Huh?
Was Victor Conte found guilty of giving him that?
Guilty. He was in his program.
See, you.
He was in the snack program.
You misleading the people, man.
Was he in the snack program or not, bro?
What was Victor?
I didn't ask you that. It's just yes or no. Was he with the snack program when he busted? Yes or no?
I mean, he probably was, but I don't
probably.
I don't look for it. But tell me this. Was Victor found guilty of giving it to him though?
There was no trial going on. It wasn't about.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You speaking on something you don't know about.
He was with the snack program and he tested positive for a banned substance. What else is there to know?
You were trying to mislead the people.
I ain't never mislead nobody. Ever.
So why would you say that? So why would you say that? He found guilty. I mean, he got found with a banned substance under the snack. But then you say under the snack. But then you say under the snack program. Why you can't say he was up under something else?
Because he was with the snack program when it happened.
But was Victor found guilty of giving him that?
See, you trying to talk about Victor. I'm talking about his program. Was he with the program when he tested positive? A program that's being promoted as clean. Yes, he did.
But was Snack found guilty of giving them that?
Bruh.
You can't
answer. He was with his program.
You can't answer it.
Bro, yes, they're guilty. Yes, they're guilty.
Okay, Snack was guilty.
They're guilty, absolutely.
Of giving him a banned substance.
They on it, bro. He got a whole program that deals with nutrition and supplements and other things that Terence Crawford and the fighters are taking. What else do we have to do?
This is a yes or no question. Was Snack found guilty of giving him a
found guilty by who?
Whoever you said. You said
no. You tell me. Found guilty by who?
I'm asking you.
You said the words guilty. Found guilty by who? I want to answer your question.
You said why he's up under a snack program, right?
Found guilty by who? You keep saying found guilty by who?
You trying to twist it, Marty.
No, I'm not. Found guilty by who? You ain't answering the question.
What you mean?
Why did your man Bud Crawford go over there? Answer now that you know all the facts now that you didn't know before. What did he go over there for? Huh?
You trying to switch? You trying to
No. You said you didn't know before. I tried to tell you he was on a program you didn't believe. Now you believe now.
No,
so
you just said.
What did he go?
Did you say a fighter? Did you say a fighter just got caught with a banned substance while under the snack program?
Bruh, absolutely. I can name 3 people. But I'm not asking that no more. We done with that.
But stop right there. You can't be.
Why did he go over there?
You can't be done with that if you bring it up, man.
Why did he? I'm talking about Crawford. I'm not talking about Willie Monroe. You are a fan of Crawford. We talking about Crawford. We ain't talking about. Hold on. We're not talking about. Bruh, hold on, CO. We can't talk at the same time. Hold on. We're not talking about Boo Boo. We ain't talking about Devin. We ain't talking about Monroe. You up here defending Crawford, and that's what we talking about. So now that we got that established, tell us why. You got all the facts now. Why do you think Terence Crawford went over to Victor Conte?
Because he wanted to.
No, tell me why you think.
Because he wanted to.
No, tell me why you think that he went over there.
Listen, it's okay. He went over there because there's a possibility for him to make more money. There's a possibility for him to be able to get some supplements to enhance, like you said, enhance his performance.
For who?
And that was it. And that
for
was
who?
It. What you mean for who?
For Crawford?
Of course. I mean, why wouldn't he?
For David Ebenezer?
For 3 fights.
I didn't ask you that. For David Ebenezer. Did Terence Crawford need? Hold on.
Ebenezer was something that was just threw in there, bro.
DOE. You said that Crawford COE, you said that Crawford is greatness and we might never see it again. So you telling me he need to enhance his performance for David Ebenezer?
What you mean?
You heard. I
No,
can't.
listen. No, listen.
I can't, y'all. I can't. I try to give these guys the opportunity to tell
Should
the
have
truth.
left him up here, man.
Bruh, why can't people just tell the truth? What do you mean? You know what I mean. I'm very simple when
Oh shoot.
Bruce Leroy, I see your hand. Hold on. Ironheart was here before you. He was waiting for a while. Hold on, Bruce. I got you. Ironheart, you heard everything. What's your take on everything? Real quick. What's your take on it?
Man, look. Which one, man? Which inaccuracy, which statement? Like it's been madness in the past damn 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. It's been crazy. We got to address that old man that came up here. We got to address, yo, the Bud fans, the butterflies, as I call them for, lack of better names. These dudes have this spirit that just hops out of one person into the other, out of D35 into damn into this guy, and no disrespect, D35, funny guy, but it's like the same spirit of disingenuous nature just hops out of one into the other. It's like it's no different than the Matrix and all the Agent Smiths. It's like these dudes is crazy out here, man. They absurd, man. This is pure comedy tonight, comedy gold, man. I don't even know where to start and where it ends.
I just want to know, Bruce, when I asked a Terence Crawford fan, why did Crawford go over there? I know Mr. Greg, he tells the truth about it. That most of Terence Crawford fans are scared to use the word enhance. They're scared to use that word. And so when he said, oh, to enhance, and see, he didn't say that in August. When I told him he was on the program, Bruce, Shaheed L was up here. He didn't say that then. He kept, no, he ain't taking no supplements. No. He's just endorsing it, just wearing the logo like everybody else. And I tried to tell the guy he didn't want to listen. Now, he finally changed his tune and say, enhance. Well, why didn't you come back and say I was right then? You see, they didn't clear it up. I'm done. I'm going to digress for 1 second. Bruce Leroy, you're here. Just off of what you just heard. I mean, what's your take on all that real quick, bro? Bruce Leroy, can you hear me, Bruce? I think Bruce, he's oh, Bruce, you there? Bruce probably gonna have to come back in. NHA2, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, NHA. I mean, I know Crawford is your guy. You a fan of his, but you see COE wasn't keeping it real, NHA. I mean, he just wasn't.
I mean, can't say he wasn't keeping it real, nothing like that, but
come
just
on,
a bit
bro.
frustrated.
Bro, all we want to know is,
He's just a bit frustrated, man. Just like most of us, man. It's like y'all. It's going on 7 months, man. The hurt's still there. I see for y'all.
Well, you know what would have helped you out, NHA? If you
Yes,
Crawford
sir.
fans would have added snack in your keys to victory. You see, it wouldn't be no problem if y'all would have said, you know what? The snack program is a good thing that Crawford went over there, and that's going to be a part of the reason why, he's going to win against, Errol Spence. But none of y'all brought it up before the fight, but y'all trying to criticize me and other people for not bringing it up before the fight. You see?
Well, I ain't criticize. We ain't never criticized none of y'all. I ain't never criticized anybody for never bringing up snack. Just like you never brought it up. Just like everybody in the panel never once brought up snack. As a matter of fact, they was actually picking Spence. Ain't that right, sir? Ironheart, you picked Spence, right? Lucky picked Spence.
I thought Spence was going to win as well.
Who else? My guy, you picked Spence, and y'all knew he was on snack, right?
Yes.
Okay, and y'all still picked Spence.
I did. I knew he was on there.
So obviously y'all didn't think much of snack.
No, I did.
I didn't know the depth of I did not know the depth of Victor Conti's history. So I will say that much. I did not know the depth of Victor Conti's history until I started watching this channel. And then I had the opportunity to see the documentary. And then I had the opportunity to see 5 hours worth of dialogue that he's left on this channel. Because for some reason, it wasn't clickbait when he chose to come acknowledge Marty's research out of everybody else. So once he came up here and gave that revealing ass, condemnation of his own tactics, that's pretty much where I was able to sum everything up. And, 1+1 just seems to equal 2 everywhere else I've been. So I don't see why it wouldn't make sense over here.
Hey, Blaxican Bruce, man, I ain't see you in a while. Double salute. What's going on, Blacks? You on mute, big homie. You on mute.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've been sitting back, man, and enjoying this live. This is some live entertainment with no pay-per-view attached right here, man.
That's right. We need some more super chats.
I'm about to sit.
We need some more super chats. Come on in.
I'm about to start getting some daggum, like pain in my left hand, in my left rib area, man, from laughing so damn hard.
Oh yes.
What's going on, Bruce?
Not a lot. What's peace, bro? How you been?
All right.
Yeah, I've been sitting back, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, and the simple fact is, I mean, this was just for the SNAP program. Listen, it's those who look at the track record of the guy behind the SNAP program. They forget that he found that track star and her husband, well, former husband, Jones, he had his hands in that. They forget, overlook the fact that when Shane Mosley got caught up in the, what was it called? He was caught up in the
Balco scandal.
Yeah, they forgot that, Victor had his hands in that. And so for us boxing fans, because again, I chose Earl also, and even though I'm from Nebraska, it wasn't no hate towards Terrence, because I'm 5 years older than he. I'm actually 5 or 6 years older than he is. So, I mean, it was just a matter of I chose Earl because of the track record that he had. The things that people everything went wrong for Earl in this fight. That's just the way it is. Like everything went wrong for Ali when he fought Frazier the first time. It just
yeah, it just happened. Yeah,
he lost the biggest fight in history. So it's like, but the SNAP program, you guys can say it's working. Yeah, but it's also a matter of using the SNAP program plus your skills. When you use those two things, you probably will have success. And you look at a lot of Earl's, not a lot of Terrence's victories, his top victories. Amir Khan got weak chin. Okay, Sean Porter, he wasn't mentally there. He's thinking about retirement. Because boxing, as a former boxer, amateur boxer, boxing is 90+% mental. So Sean is not completely there. You look at Kell Brook. Kell Brook was going up and down the 154-pound division, and deteriorating yourself in weight like Roy Jones can take a lot out of you. So I mean, Terrence has pinpoint, and it's not really his fault completely, but it is somewhat his, because his past few opponents have had small handicaps or some kind of disabled function in their skills. That's not completely his fault. It ain't Terrence's fault.
Right.
But that's when he chose him.
Right. So I have to double salute my guy, Matthew Thomas, member of the channel. Thanks, Matt, for your contribution and your support to the channel. Matt says, for the lesson. Lucky McKinnell's is here. Another day one supporter here. Lucky, I mean, can you hear me, Lucky?
Yeah, I'm there.
Lucky, listen, man. I try to get these guys to just be honest. Tell the truth. If Terence Crawford's performance was enhanced, that's cool. But nobody's going to convince, I don't care if people are Crawford fans or not. Nobody's going to convince me and people that know the sport of boxing, like the great people in my chat and the great people here on this panel, that Terence Crawford needed to enhance his performance to fight David Evanesian. And this is no disrespect to David Evanesian. I'm just saying, we got to keep it real. And COE, he knows a little bit about boxing, but he didn't want to keep it real. He knows that Terence Crawford don't need no enhancements or anything to beat no David Evanesian. I mean, we all know that. Lucky, what's your take on all this stuff that's been going on tonight and just the last few minutes of this whole Terence Crawford debacle?
I mean, it's pretty easy to say, man. He didn't have to go over there. He haven't gave any good answers of why he went over there. We know what Victor stands for. We know what he done in the sport. So it's like when you go over there, you know what you're getting. And I want to say, all right. So when I was younger, man, my mom
used to suffer with a crack addiction, and so many times she will go to rehab, and that's thing like she had a degree in nursing, and she would be right back at nursing, and then next thing you know, you see her hanging out with nurses, but next thing you know, you see her hanging out with somebody that's from around the corner again, and then we knew, like the whole household, we knew she's back into it again, and that's the same thing when you're dealing with certain people, you know what they're getting into. So it's like when you dealing with Victor, you ain't go over there just to enhance your for David. Not that for David. You did that for Earl. And it's clear to see that you enhanced your performance. I mean, you can see how buffed up he was. He ain't never been buffed up like that. And he damn sure ain't had nobody leaving the ring looking like Martin.
I agree with that.
So
my profile picture agrees. Set yourself up, Lucky.
That was a good one.
I try to give people an opportunity to come up, and I hate to kick people off, but in 2024, y'all, I'm not taking no more. We're not doing this no more. I'm not wasting a whole minute, 2, 3, 5 minutes of the show to keep going around the merry-go-round with the same point. Once I see that a person is not keeping it real, they got to go, and that's just what it is. And I'm not just saying COE. I'm just saying anybody. We just want the truth to come out. That's all. If Terence Crawford went to Victor Conti to enhance his performance, then say that. Why they got to take me talking about this for 7 months for people to finally admit, all right, he did go over there to get his performance enhanced. And all you're going to do is raise more questions from me. And so what I found out is this, and we got to keep it real. Somebody's phone is not muted. Majority, which is more than most, majority of Terence Crawford fans do not want to acknowledge the association with Victor Conti, meaning that his performance was enhanced, because they just want to say, yes, he beat Errol Spence like I said he was. And we got to be honest and say his performance was enhanced. I've been saying this after the fight. What is wrong with it? It don't make a difference if somebody didn't say it beforehand. Neither did you. If you a Terence Crawford fan listening to me, you ain't say it before the fight either. So you can't use that argument here. And you definitely can't use that argument with me, because I follow Victor Conti's strategy and theory that he's put out years ago. When you see a fighter fight 3 fights, then you get to determine if you're suspicious. You see, when Victor Conti did it with Pacquiao, and I can pull up the interview when he said it, Shaheed. He said he fought Ugas, Thurman, and Adrian Broner. None of y'all Terence Crawford fans criticized that man. You didn't criticize him. And he said Pacquiao has been on steroids his whole career, in my opinion. Nobody said, Victor, that's defamation of character. Victor Conti, you don't have any evidence. Victor Conti, you can't assume. Oh, but when manager Marty used the 3-fight theory that he used with Crawford, Sean Porter knocked him down twice, something that's never been happened before in the history of Sean Porter's career. And by the way, Sean Porter was on snack when he fought him. Knocked out David Evanesian, out cold, sleeping, unconscious for over 1 minute. Something that Bud Crawford never did in the welterweight division or the 140-pound division before the snack program. And then we've seen the demise and the destruction when he ran through Errol Spence, knocking him down 3 times, TKOing him and hurting him early on. You see, I use Victor Conti's 3-fight theory. I'm the bad guy. But when he accused Pacquiao directly, ain't none of y'all say nothing about it. Oh, but when I speak on it now, I get shadow banned by YouTube. When I speak on it now, all of a sudden, Terence Crawford fans want to flip and say, well, okay, he was being endorsed Oh, okay, I agree. Now he's using the supplements. When I say something about it, people want to come up here and wear Freddy Krueger mask. Why y'all playing? I've been doing research on this for 15 years. Y'all late. There's nothing y'all can do.
Hey, man, Zamadi.
Yes, sir, my brother.
Yeah, I wanted to know, is Victor the reason that Rachel Donaire haven't been on the panel in a while?
Say it again. Somebody's phone is not on mute. Say it again.
I said, is Victor the reason that Rachel Donaire haven't been on the panel in a while?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to Rachel. I hope that's not the reason, but I don't know.
You haven't spoken to her since Victor's last interview?
Huh?
You haven't spoken to her since Victor's last interview?
Your phone was going in and out. I heard you say interview.
He said you haven't spoken to her since Victor did the last interview.
No, I haven't.
That says a lot.
I was wondering about that for a little while.
I haven't seen her on the panel or in the chat, and I haven't spoken to her. And to be quite frank with all of you, I hope that myself, her, and Nonito are still friends, because I didn't do nothing wrong to them. They didn't do nothing wrong to me. We never had any problems. So, to my understanding, I will hope that we're still cool, but I can't assume that we're not just because I didn't see her up here. But I haven't seen her or spoken to her since the last time she was here.
Well, hopefully she'll be back, because I've been wondering the same thing as well. But I want to say this about, since we done got back to the subject. There has been so much emotion that got poured into this Spence Crawford fight before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight. You're gonna always continuously see and hear a lot of things that are irrational because there's too much emotion placed in front of it. Because I noticed that the gentleman COE, he thought that I was a Spence fan. When he mentioned my name, he should know I'm a Crawford fan, but maybe he wasn't even thinking about it. And that's the point. They get on. Everybody it's not just Crawford fans, it's also Spence fans as well. It just depends on what level you're on. But it's been just so much emotion. Everybody has been invested in this fight. Now, of course, we all like different fighters and so forth and so on. But this particular fight, we have been terribly, in my opinion, well, I shouldn't say terribly, but we've been very much invested into it, where we don't want to hear, nobody wants to hear all the facts and all the truths. Like I've said, when I made my first prediction about who's going to win the fight, I told you that Crawford was going to easily beat Spence. And this is before I knew anything about Snack. Later, I said I had given him a 5% chance of winning, talking about Spence. And everybody went ballistic until I didn't get a chance to say, did you see the fight? There was only a 5% chance in that fight because you saw what happened. However, I've always been suspicious of Victor Conte because I was around when he first came on the scene. So I understood who he was. I understand the suspicion. I've said it all along, that there's reason to be suspicious. When you ask why did he go over the Snack, I told you point blank, he was addressing size, strength, and punching power, because that's how, in my opinion, I believe Bud saw it as well, how Spence was winning the fights, because Spence had all the flaws that people were talking about, but you don't have to deal with the flaws. You deal with the pluses. And I think it was Lucky who just happened to mention how stronger, how buffed Crawford looked. Exactly. He addressed the issue that he knew he was deficient at in terms of dealing with Spence. Now, when they got started, I don't know whether the program that they're on said you got to get started this time. I don't even know what those particulars were. But to me, when you're putting on muscle mass and things like that, you have to do it in a proper way in order for it to benefit you. And I think it did benefit, but
that's why, but Mr. Greg, that's why it's so much emotion that's still invested in this fight.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one of the reasons why. because Terence Crawford did something that not even you, because you agree with me, and not even no Bud fan yet on YouTube thought that he would do. I've heard all the Bud fans say, oh man, he's going to do this and that. He's going to win. He's going to do this in the later rounds. But every Bud Crawford fan that I've talked to on this platform, on this channel, including you, Mr. Greg, all have said, I ain't expect him to do him like that.
No, I did not expect for him to march through Bud, through Earl, in the way that he did. But one thing that you predicted, and we both talked about, is that he had to start early.
I said that.
He did. Yeah, I said you predicted.
And I told him that he had to stay in the southpaw stance the entire night. I said that. And so what I'm saying is that when you look at this, nobody ever thought, nobody, Spence fans either, was expecting Terence Crawford to run in there and just bulldoze over Errol Spence. And that's the reason why, or one of the reasons why, is so much emotion invested in this. The second element is the elephant in the room. And that's Victor Conte in the snack program. We can't deny it. When I said it 3 days after the fight, people were throwing tomato cans at me and throwing live hoagies at me, Shaheed. They was taking gum out their mouth after chewing it, and they was throwing it at me, huh? They were pinning me to the wall.
Like you were Marvin Hagler who won the title.
I told the people that Spence looked different and Crawford looked different. I got 11,000 views on that. 5,000 people was watching me live when I said it 3 days after the fight. And don't let me tell you what I told BFTB when I was sitting next to BFTB at the fight. But I'm not going to put him on the spot because he ain't got nothing to do with it. But I told him what I really felt. But the point is, what I'm saying live in living color, everybody can agree now, after 7 months of me speaking on this, is that Terence Bud Crawford's performance was enhanced. There's no denying it. See, y'all try to deny it before. But then when you look at your screen right now, Mr. Greg, oh yes, the snack offer products that improve your level of fitness, help you lose fat, build muscle. And these are my favorite 2 words. Enhance performance.
Hey, let me ask the panel a question, man. I want to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to ask all y'all a question. As far as we all attack the reputation of Victor Conte as we should.
Well, I'm not attacking his reputation. I want to clarify my position. I'm attacking the fact that there are similarities that he's doing now that he was doing back then, where don't see no changes. That's making me more suspicious. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you being a little nice about it, but I'm gonna say attacking the reputation. I'll get behind you and attack his reputation.
All right,
I ain't convicting nobody of anything here. But
no, I'm not talking about steroid distribution.
Right, I got you.
Comprehensive blood testing. He was doing that before. I did videos on all this. Comprehensive blood testing. He did that before. He's doing that now. Distributing his supplements after the comprehensive blood testing. He did that in the Balco days. He's doing that now. Shipping the products to the athletes' houses. He was doing that then. He's still doing that now. He had Remy Karchimny working with him back then in Balco. Remy Karchimny's banned, lifetime banned, by the way, from USA Track and Field. But anyway, he's got him working with the fighters now. He was branding back then by allowing the athletes to wear his shirts and hats to promote his product and his brand back then. Right. He's doing that now. Not only
so this
that,
brings me to the question.
He was a part of allowing certain athletes to have therapeutic use exemptions after Balco. His words not mine. His words not mine. He was doing that after Balco, meaning that after he came home from prison or whatever. So I'm just using just those few things as a reference. When I
right. I'm with you all the way, Marty. So ain't nobody condemning you or your tactics or how you do anything.
It's all good.
But
if you
so we got Bomac, right? as a trainer, would you, if you was a top tier fighter and you're looking for a trainer, you're looking for somebody to take you to the next level?
Yeah.
Is Bo Mack the guy? Because you brought up on one of your previous streams that we did last week. You talked about if a guy would lie, cheat, steal his taxes, would this guy, essentially cheat in boxing? So a guy that's Bo Mack's physique, do you expect this guy to take you to the top of the sport? What sport could a guy like Bo Mack take you to the top of? Or do you think that he's more liable to take a shortcut? And that's an honest question.
Why are you fat shaming?
Well, for me, I would look at his.
This is wild.
Say what? Say what, NHA?
You fat shaming Bo Mack.
I'm fat shaming Bo Mack.
People? That's like saying.
Let me finish this.
That's like saying Andy Reid can't take nobody to the Super Bowl because he's fat. He just won 3.
NHA, hold on, NHA. Hold on, NHA. Let me finish answering. When it comes to Bo Mack's physique, okay, that's his personal issue. If he's a good trainer, it would be because of his knowledge that he can teach the fighters.
Not saying that.
So I would look toward his knowledge instead of his physique. But I will say I wouldn't go to Bo Mack because Bo Mack is not the trainer of the year. Yeah, I said it. He's not the trainer of the year. Derek James, he's not the trainer of the year. Freddie Roach, he's not the trainer of the year. Eddie Reynoso is not the trainer of the year. The trainer of the year is Victor Conte. All of his fighters. Oh, yes. All his fighters. All year long in 2023. Oh, they look so impressive, Mr. Greg. So the trainer of the year I would go to is Victor Conte himself. Yes.
Yeah. No, hold up. That deflects from the question.
Why go there, though? Why go to Victor Conte? Why go there, though? Because I know you're answering the question. Why go to Victor Conte? Why go to Victor Conte is what becomes the question. I know your answer. Why go there?
I would go there. I'm going to tell you why I would go there.
Okay.
I would go there for 2 reasons. To get my performance enhanced. And then after he do the comprehensive blood testing and they find that my iron and my testosterone and my minerals is low, I go get that therapeutic use exemption so I can go ahead and get injected with them banned substances, be able to run through the fighters, brother. That's what I would do.
Man, Jamal,
yeah.
One thing.
That's not the question I asked, though. I asked, would you? I didn't say that Bo Mack couldn't get anybody to the top. I said, would he go there nobly or would he provide a shortcut? Is he somebody based on? I mean, based on Snack. I mean, that is a guy that
would he go to Snack?
What? Anywhere that provides a competitive edge.
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, of course.
And see, my thing is that I could attribute a person's, physique to some degree to their tactics and how they would get to the top. Do they take do they take it serious? I don't understand how you're around all these athletes or, in the environment and setting where you yourself don't lose a little bit of weight. I ain't saying, you should be skinny mini or just look like a G.I. Joe in order to train. But I think that is reflective to tactics that may be taken for you to exist in this environment. And I do think that, his lack of either lack of education, lack of self-control with his diet could be reflective to why somebody like, anybody working with him may want to take the shortcut to the top. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not
That's just my humble analysis.
He took the shortcut though, because look at it.
I ain't saying he did or didn't. I'm just saying it's plausible.
Okay, and it's like even with I'm gonna take this fight to what's his name? To Antonio Tarver's trainer, Buddy McGirt.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty big for a trainer. But the fact that he studied Roy Jones, just like Bo Mack studied Earl, that's not against the rules. But that's not even a shortcut. That's just thinking outside the box. And also the fact that, that Tarver studied Roy for 5, 10, 15 years. That's, you can't blame the trainer for that either, because he's still out of shape as Tarver's trainer, as Bo Mack is out of shape for Terence as his trainer. So it's like for this fight here, there was the fact that they it's just everything went against Earl, because don't forget, even when you had Victor Conte on here talking about Earl went running in the mountains in Vegas and got caught up in whatever it was. After he did that, again, that's not Terrence's fault, but it's still something used against Earl. The fact that Earl has some other issues, outside the ring, is not Bomax,
Yeah, that's not Bomac. But here's the thing about
Yeah.
Bomac.
It's not his fault though. But I mean, it's all the strikes used against him, and so for Bomac to be out of shape the way he was, he still studied Earl. You can tell he still, and so did Terrence. And it was like, even fighting David, I've been sneezing. That was just to see. To me, I think that was just to see if the performance enhancement was going to work, properly the way they expected. Because once he knew it did, that's when he made his move to, to go find Earl. So like, all the strikes were against Earl, man. It's just boxing.
Yeah. And here's the thing, so we won't get too far off. The thing is this. No, brother. You're all right. The thing is this. We got to keep it all the way 100. If anybody goes over to Victor Conte, and I'm talking about not when he first came home, because see, the problem is that what people want to say is, well, he probably was still doing this when he came home, meaning Snack. But we don't know, because he didn't work with any fighters from what I was told from 2005 to 2009. So we don't know if he worked with fighters between that time frame. The only thing we can pick up on is him training or working with, I wouldn't say training, but him working with fighters in 2009. We don't have any record of him working with fighters after he came directly home from the jail. So the thing is, if Victor Conte was doing something nefarious, we can't put that on him. We don't have evidence. What I'm saying is that if you go over there with him, all of this comes with it. Everything that's going on comes with it, not just for the fighter, but even with Victor Conte himself. And the reason that I say that, because you wasn't here, Bruce, Ironheart, or NHA, Victor Conte gave me a message. In fact, he gave the world a message on Friday when he said, when he put in the comment section here, which is what is on your screen. We already dealt with this earlier on, so I'm going to put it up there, and I'm not going to leave it up there too long, but these are the words that Victor Conte basically said about me. The point that I'm basically bringing up is, when you have the truth coming out, my mother has a saying, and she's been saying this since I can remember, almost 30 years now. Guilt make you tilt. That was she used to say. And what's happening is people are responding like they're guilty, and that's raising more suspicion. I'm not saying people are guilty of using illegal substances. I'm saying the behavior patterns that Victor Conte and most of them people over there at Snack, the fighters, they're showing guilty behavior patterns that's making other people more suspicious. And that's just a fact. That's not an opinion. Now, moving right along to this whole Rick Glaser ordeal, because I wanted to get my take on it, and it's based on the tweets that Rick Glaser has been saying about PBC going to implode. Terence Crawford and other fighters like Matias and Canelo, all these guys are going to leave the PBC. They don't have no money. The card that's coming up is probably the March 30th card with Amazon's going to flop. All these different things, but the thing is, the card, like Mr. Greg said, the card didn't even happen yet. The fights come on March 30th. The first fight's on Amazon Prime. And already we got Rick Glaser coming out like he always does, constantly disrespecting Al Heyman, constantly disrespecting PBC, shooting them down all the time, talking about they broke, all kind of stuff. And he's doing that because he's holding on to a 25-year grudge that he had with Al Heyman. The thing about it is, he can go on his platform, on Twitter, and every day he bashed PBC and Al Heyman. Most people don't say nothing to him. Some people do, but most people don't. But them same people that don't say nothing about Rick Glaser, they'll come over here in my chat, they'll come over here on my panel, they'll come over here in my comment section, and they'll say all of this stuff about me. And the question becomes, who do you manage, Manager Marty? But nobody asked Rick Glaser the fighters that he ever worked with. Nobody told him to chill out and stop disrespecting PBC, because we got to keep it real. We ain't even talking about boxing that much on YouTube. We talking about hypotheticals now. You know why? Because PBC ain't put their card on yet. When PBC was rocking and rolling, every content creator, including myself, we were talking about all the PBC fights. Whether we agreed or not isn't the point. The point is, ever since the deal went down between Amazon, PBC, and Showtime was gone, we haven't seen a lot of competitive fights from the other competition. We keeping it all the way 100. I want to also say this. Let's look at Top Rank and Golden Boy, since everybody keep, using them as the reference. I'm using them as a reference because these are the two promoters that Rick Glaser usually matchmake for. If you don't know who he is, he's just a glorified matchmaker. That's it. He don't push no buttons. That's all he is. I'm not saying matchmakers are not important. They're extremely important. I'm talking about him pointing the fingers at the black guys, talking about him specifically. And reason why I'm talking about him is because he's mentioning the fighters at PBC. He don't have no dealings with PBC. He don't understand nothing that PBC's doing. I'm talking about he hasn't been in the room. Like Mr. Greg talked about, this stuff didn't materialize overnight between like PBC, Amazon. They businessmen and women. They sat down and materialized this and put this together. But Rich Glaser's not in that room. So why is he being held like he's the credible source? He's not credible. He's not a part of Amazon Prime, nor is he a part of PBC. He's not no credible source. He said he's been in the business of boxing for 40 years. Well, when you going to start talking about your company? You've been in business for 40 years. We haven't heard you on Twitter yet talk about the fighters and building those guys up that you matchmake for or you work with. But we hear you disrespecting and constantly berating PBC. That's where Coach Malachi get his information from. That's where Barbershop Conversation get his information from. That's where half of the time Blue Blood get half of his information from when we talk about PBC. They're listening to a guy who's bitter, who sound like a bitter baby mom. Him, Rick Glaser. Now, back to my point of Top Rank in De La Hoya. And I want to ask a trivial question, and then we're going to move on quickly before we go. When Top Rank had Pacquiao was a pay-per-view superstar. Can anybody on the panel agree? Yes or no?
Yep.
Okay. Everybody in the chat and watching the replay of this live, can we all agree? Yes or no? When Pacquiao was signed to Top Rank, was Pacquiao a pay-per-view superstar? Somebody in the chat, real quick, so we can move on. Anybody? Yes or no? Real quick. Okay, great. Thank you, Cash. For sure. Thank you, Creo. Yes. When Canelo Alvarez was with Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, was he a pay-per-view superstar?
Yep.
Can everybody on the panel agree, yes or no?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Everybody in the chat, can you all agree that when Canelo Alvarez was with Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, that he was a pay-per-view superstar? Somebody said yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, SOG for life. Guess what is amazing about that? Both of those fighters, Pacquiao, who was signed to Top Rank as a pay-per-view superstar, Canelo Alvarez, who was signed to Golden Boy Promotions as a pay-per-view superstar, what promotional banner do those two fighters fight on? It's only 3 letters. We ain't got to stay long with this.
Yeah,
It's 3 letters.
PBC.
Premier boxing champions. You know what?
There we go.
You know,
PBC. So my point is, all of the people that's mad at Al Heyman, they lost their superstars to him. And it's not because Al Heyman came and just stole them. It's because they recognized the same thing Terence Crawford recognized when he was getting a guaranteed purse with Top Rank and Bob Arum, that when you go over there with PBC, you're going to get the lion's share of the purse. You're not going to have to be concerned about 30% of your revenue and purse get snatched away from you to give it to a promoter. And also, you're going to get that back in money. That's why they went over there. You see? So my point is, this is why they're hating on Al Heyman. They, meaning Rick Glaser and all the other promoters that be hating on him, is because he changed the rules, the unwritten rules. Thank you, Mr. Greg. You alluded to this earlier. He changed the unwritten rules that the fighter will be compensated their fair due, and not the other people in the suits. It's the fighters who's making the sacrifices, training hard, sacrificing their time with their families, and they're going in there taking all of the risks and the punches. So they should get the lion's share of the reward. Yes,
Quick
sir,
question,
Bruce.
Bart. So here's a question that I was asked, and I gave him my answer, but I also wanted your opinion on this. And they were like, "Well, Al Heyman was with HBO, they went out of business. Al Heyman was with Showtime, they went out of business, and and it's like, why is it everything that Al Heyman touches keeps going out of business?" I told them it was because it takes De La Hoya, Bob Arum, and the one and the Zone. It takes all of them to keep boxing running, not just one man. But how else could you educate the public on on that part?
That's a very good question. Yeah. I'll keep it very simple. ESPN ain't go out of business yet, did they?
Nope.
That was the first network that PBC was televised on. How about Bounce? They still in business, right?
I don't know too much about them.
How about Spike?
Spike? Yeah.
They still got a network still running. See, everybody always want to attribute it to one person.
Yep.
All of the networks that dealt with PBC, what about CBS? They still in business. The parent company of Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney's the parent company of ESPN.
Yep.
What I'm saying is, don't forget NBC. NBC still running, right?
Yep.
And
Fox still running, right?
Yep.
So it's not every time Al Heyman and PBC touch something goes out of business. But see, the people don't know they don't do research. They listen to people that don't know what they're talking about on YouTube until you get the real business guy, and I give you all the truth, all unbiasedly. So it's not that every time Al Heyman touch a network, they go out of business. I just named 5 or 6 right there. Besides I ain't even named Showtime and HBO yet. And by the way, let me put this in there. Al Heyman wasn't the only one at HBO. HBO was doing business with other promoters, including Lou DiBella. I can go back and tell you when Lou DiBella was vice president behind Seth Abrams and them guys. All I'm saying is everybody need to understand business. And if you don't, come over right here. And the real business guy I'm going to teach you. You know what I mean? And that's how it is.
But they don't also understand what going out of business means. HBO is still there. Showtime is still there.
Just not with boxing.
Right. And boxing wasn't the only thing that both of those networks let go.
That's correct.
Those certain kinds of shows, their accountants looked at what was making us the kind of money that fit the margins that they wanted to make.
Yep.
So we said, okay, we're going to let this go. We're going to let this go. We're going to let this go. We might even move it somewhere else. So they wasn't gone out of business because boxing didn't stop. You're going to, just like you move into your apartment, you stay there for a couple of years, then you move into a house. Then you move into another house. The same thing with networks. Sometimes TV shows that are very popular change networks. That network is still there. But see, when people think out of business, they want to contribute it to something that they don't like.
Yep.
A lot of the times you're hearing people who don't like PBC, who don't like Al Heyman, anything that doesn't speak highly of PBC or Al Heyman, anything that, okay, they left there, something's going wrong, we're going to blame them.
That's all.
Same thing is going to happen because at some point your deal does change or your deal comes to an end.
And that's what I tried to tell them, man, was I felt that they were just hating too much on PBC because he was doing the opposite of what Don King was doing. And it's like that's uplifting, the average, Black community. That's opening that's having like some athletes who are not even boxers open their third eye to saying, hey, there is, glory, there is, great, business to be done. Us as Black athletes, that's what I feel is doing. It's like anything they can to deteriorate, athletes or a businessman who's bringing out the best in others. It's like, nah, man, this is where we've had athletes, not just boxers, athletes, period. This is where we've had them. This is where it's comfortable. And, let's just keep it that way. But I'm like, Al Heyman, his tale is he has, out of all the top 10 best pay-per-view fights, how many does Al have? About like 8 or 9?
That's what I was about to say. Right when you stopped talking, Bruce, that's what I was going to say. Oscar De La Hoya, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, you name them, Bob Arum, where they pay-per-view superstar at? Al Heyman got all of them. He got all the pay-per-view stars over there, and most of them are black, and so is he.
And that
I don't want to bring race in it.
That's what it boils down to.
I don't want to bring race in
all
it.
the jealousy in the world.
I don't want to bring race in it, but people be in my comment section always talking about race, this and all that. But I'm just talking about the facts right now. Al Heyman is the only one out of all the stuff we talking about. I'm just saying out of all the promoters now, and I'm not saying he's a promoter. I'm saying he is a manager, but he works with Tom Brown, who is white. But my point is, all of these guys, they don't have the business model to have multiple pay-per-view superstars. None of them do. It's only Al Heyman who have multiple pay-per-view stars. Rick Glaser won't tell you that. It's obvious. It's obvious. Let's look at Ryan Garcia. He had one pay-per-view. All them years he been with De La Hoya and them, they did not put the young man on pay-per-view. It took when he came over to do good business with PBC that he was able to do that. Now, let's take somebody else. Let's take Crawford. He was getting a guaranteed purse when he was over there at ESPN Plus. He never got back in money. Not just him. Any fighter that's exclusively signed to a promoter getting a guaranteed purse, you're forfeiting your stacking money. Okay? Let's be clear on that. Now, with that being said, because that's going to be repeated on another content creator network, I want to let you know where you got that from here. Now, he goes over to PBC. You see he made his biggest bag, right? Got a mansion about to be built from the ground up, right, Mr. Greg? From what I'm hearing?
That's what you're hearing.
He ain't never make that money when he was with Bob. Okay, then. See, the fighters know what time it is. They know who running this thing. It's the PBC. But you know what's going to happen when you go to PBC? What did Adrian Broner say? He said it right after he left
King
PBC.
Kong and Godzilla.
That's what he said. He said, hey, you're going to get paid when you go over there. You're going to get more money than you would fighting for other network. You're going to get paid. But when you go over to PBC, you're going to have to fight Godzilla.
You know
that means your competition going to be tough. And that's the reason. See, that's what we got to deal with now, Mr. Greg. That's one of the main reasons why. That your man Bud picked that phone up and he called Victor. Because you know when you fight the guys over there, they tough. All of them guys, all of them at PBC. World championship caliber fighters. Multiple pay-per-view superstars over there. That's what they do. Their business model works. So anybody hating on PBC, go back and look at what they're doing in their business. And if it's successful, they not hating.
What's
but funny? Can I make a point on PBC? I just want to make a quick point on PBC. I was around at the inception of PBC. Loved it. It was a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? I was happy. You know, they treating them, getting them paid, treating them right. And first and foremost, most important part that I like is they broadcast the free boxing.
Yes.
They promoted that. Oh, we're going to give you free. And that was lit. I love getting Thurman and Guerrero on free TV and who else? Danny and Thurman on free TV. That was lit. But now, what I don't like what's going on is we, the consumer, are being forced to subsidize the fighters' pay. I'm saying,
but that's what you
always got to
do. That's been going on.
I get that.
That's been going on for years.
I want to do that. But I want to pay for fights that are worth paying for. I don't want to pay $80 for Boo Boo versus last fight. I don't want to pay $80
What,
for
Benavidez?
Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. I don't,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? I don't not. It's not
That's
worth
what they
$80.
was
Those are
fighting
free
for.
fights.
But both of those fights, hold on, NHA. I'm a little confused. That's why I'm scratching my head. Both of those fights were world title fights.
And
I see what you're saying. Well,
world
how
title
much?
just because it was
So
not every world title fight was pay-per-view worthy.
oh, I got you. So that should have been
Those are
free.
network fights. It
I
should
got
have
you.
been free.
So
Network, Showtime. You know, I mean,
I'm asking you. That should have been free.
should have absolutely.
Okay, now let me ask you a question, because you are a Terence Crawford fan, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you buy the David Evanesian fight?
You know what? I'm gonna be 100% honest. I did not.
What the heck is going on with my microphone, Mr. Greg? Testing 1 2 1 2. Is my mic on? Can y'all hear me?
I knew that's what you was getting into.
Can y'all guys hear me?
I'm so glad you said it, man.
I knew that's where you were going.
Hello. Hola. Oh, I learned how to speak Spanish. Hola. Cinco de Mayo. Come in, Code Red. Can y'all guys hear me?
Yeah.
Did you pay for the David Evanesian versus Terence Crawford fight, NHA?
Absolutely not having paid
Why
for
not?
all the month because it wasn't worth paying for.
How'd you see the fight then? And don't lie.
What do you mean how'd I see the fight?
You
like anybody else who don't pay for it.
No, I don't know what that means. So you telling me you a Terence Crawford fan and you one of the ones that didn't support Terence Crawford?
Not that one.
I'm sorry, I got to kick him. I got to kick him off too. You got to support your man. If you a fan of a fighter, you got to buy their fights, man.
I bought the fight. I admit I bought the fight.
Come on.
What I wanted to say to Blackston, my man Blackston, no, and Earnhardt as well. It's ironic. Golden Boy was supposed to be what PBC actually is. Because when Bernard, Shane, and Oscar, who both were fighters, who both had issues with promoters,
Antonio Barrera too,
got together, they were supposed, okay, we're gonna be different. We're gonna be about the fighters. And none of that's proven to be true. Al Heyman, who wasn't a fighter, but his brother was a fighter, he watched his brother not get paid and get hurt in the ring and those kind of things, and made a real commitment to, when he started this company and got involved with boxing, we're going to make sure the fighters get paid. Now,
anybody that have a problem with that in this business, there's something wrong with them.
Like I said, every promoter can be criticized for different things, but I'm talking about the good thing. And the good thing is the fighters were getting paid and we were seeing it. It wasn't just talk. We were seeing, and the only way you can see how somebody's making a little money is from the Creature Conference, of course. But I always remember the story of Keith Thurman, like I said earlier, in the bank, sitting around with $1 million check. Got to open up an account. Stuff. I mean, yeah, that was new for him.
And there's one more thing, Mr. Greg. I gotta say this, and I don't, because the ladies love me. Salute to all the ladies, you know what I mean? But all of them, they had an upgrade in women. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
They went over to PBC,
that's gonna happen. That's part of the
old
Benny.
girlfriends, you don't even see them no more. You got, they got new upgrades. All of them got new upgrades.
Suddenly, you saw all of them with the jewelry on and the very pretty girls right next to them.
Except for Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, we were the same woman. Shout out to Danny Garcia.
We'll give. We don't know what Danny was doing either, but I'm just kidding. But they're driving their cars. We're seeing it. They're showing them homes. In the early part, they were showing up for the fight in suits, little Tom Ford suits, and so I mean they were doing the things that at least gave the impression that hey, some money coming our way because this is what's happening for us now. And so I think that drove fight because fighters was leaving their promoters, coming over to PBC.
Yes.
And that's when the other promoters decided, you know what, we're going to have to start paying our people or we ain't going to be in business too much longer. And that's why they've always resented PBC.
This is one other reason I think people are upset with PBC, because before it was the public's demand when fighters fought each other, but PBC has kind of changed that. But you can't just blame PBC, because all they did was they took some knowledge from Ali Frazier. That was a fight we had to wait for, but it wasn't, that was the government who interfered with that. Then you look at Ray Leonard Hearns, and Angelo Dundee even said, I turned Hearns down. So they took a part of this, of that. They look at Tyson and Holyfield, Tyson and Lewis, and they kept getting delayed. And all PBC did was put all the pieces of the puzzle together and be like, look, this is what it takes to make the biggest pay-per-view fights. That's all they did. They say, look, prolonging it, pushing it off, or taking your time with it. You control it. The fighters control it, because the fighters are the ones getting hit, taking the damage, and let the fans wait. And the fans are kind of upset with that. That, hey, y'all used to fight when we said you guys should fight. Like, I mean, it's not who it was, but the fans used to control it, and they don't anymore. And they're kind of upset with that too. That's why I think they don't like PBC.
Plus, we've gotten a chance, fans in general have got a chance to see too much of, or pieces of, what's going on behind the scenes.
Yep.
And a lot of times you don't know how to properly use all that information that you're getting. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you sort of use whatever passes for your intellect to interpret the little pieces that you get, and then you get in your feelings, of course, and then it comes out when they come online and they start saying the things that they say, because fans can be crazy. That's why they're called fanatic, or they're fans for short, but it's from the word fanatic.
I think my fault, but I think a real issue that was highlighted when I was watching the Rick Glazer interview, as you know, I came into the into manager Marty's sphere a little late, so I got to watch some key interviews and see some of the characters of the handlers behind the scenes. And it seemed like Rick Glazer's main complaint was that fighters were being paid too much. And I don't understand why that would be a complaint if you're still being paid as a promoter. And it seemed like he would get agitated every time that Marty brought up an example of the finances that were actually being conveyed or that were being processed. And it's like, you're not supposed to know all of this. Like, I'm really sugarcoating the words that he probably really wanted to say, because I felt a lot of racial undertones, or I just felt a lot of undertones in his tantrum. And before he had the total meltdown that ended that episode, it was really a thing that was like, how does this black guy know so much? How does this YouTube, or however he may have looked at Marty, nonetheless, you acknowledged him. So you know that he was doing some type of sound research. Why were you so bothered that this guy knew this much? And why did it, frazzle you to the point where now you're getting disrespectful? Now you're talking to people crazy. Like it just seems like he has a real problem with people knowing, I ain't gonna say people knowing too much, but, I guess people that could kind of hamper the way that they do business. And Al Heyman doesn't seem to be threatened by bigging up the fighter's purse to a level where, these are the guys putting their lives on the line. Everybody else, Bob Arum, even though De La Hoya had has a past as a, fighter, Hall of Fame, all the above, they don't seem to have this, they don't seem to have the fashion to really care about the fighter's interest, or making sure that they can share that large sum of what their efforts is accumulating around these fights. So Al Heyman does not have that, he doesn't seem like he's really trying to get over on nobody. He doesn't have the Don King tactics, or the things that really keep the fighters seen as workhorses. And Rick Glazer once did, Rick Glazer, people like Rick Glazer, Bob Arum, they kind of want to just Squid Game these guys. I don't know if y'all watch Squid Game.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
All right, so yeah, they wanted to keep these guys at a worker's level. And like I said, the way PBC is doing things is kind of empowering the fighters to where these guys can't come back to these guys. The Rick Glazers can't come back to their previous fighters after they've seen the Al Heyman business structure, after they tasted some of that financial success on that side, you can't come back to these guys with the same type of offers that you had for them before. You know, and so it just completely compromises the way that they've been doing business, you know, in terms of the old business suits that probably never fought a cold in their life, never mind actually shot a basketball or anything else. You know, they don't have that respect for the fighters, and I think Al Heyman is actually treating these fighters with some type of respectable premise to where they feel like they're going to get more over there.
That's the notion that you're paying a fighter too much money is I've always found it to be offensive, because we know we've seen one punch, maybe two, have killed fighters or have put them out. Like we were talking about, what's my man's name? That Fort
Gerald McClellan. McClellan.
We've seen a lot of that.
We've seen it
at the lower level, not at the high level.
Yeah.
So if I don't care what my record is, if I got a promoter who said, you sign right here, we're going to pay you $1 million to fight this, I'm signing it and I'm getting it. I don't care what you think, whether I should got it or not, because I know what could happen to me just by one punch. Somebody who may look like he couldn't even beat me. Yeah, I see it, Braxton.
That was a man.
I'm always offended by that notion that they overpaid. You can't overpay somebody to risk their life. To me,
that's correct. And I'll hang it with this and leave on that note. Thank you, Ironheart, because Rick Glazer sounded like he had an issue with me exposing the very fabric that have kept fighters underpaid, unlearned of the actual business, unlearned of the fair market value that should be assessed when you talk about numbers, when we talk about compensation for the fighters who's rendering a legitimate service. And don't forget, their tax bracket is through the roof because they have to pay taxes. And these are expenses that the independent contractor, the fighter, is going to have to incur. But that's not being looked at. That's not being considered when you have somebody who's just only in the game for themselves. And that's why Rick Glazer had the meltdown. He knew I was backing him in the corner like I do everybody else who comes up here and try to gaslight and mislead the people. And I broke the very fabric of his argument of fighters getting overpaid. Well, what is overpaid? Because the last time I checked, fighters are not even getting paid the fair market value. They're getting paid below the fair market value is here. They're getting paid this. So if overpaid is above the fair market value or at the fair market value, that's actually fair. So who are you to try to say that it's wrong for somebody to help the fighter? And you heard this, Ironheart, and everybody else did, because I did walk him into this by saying, you are for the fighters, helping the fighters like I am, right? No, I'm not. Remember he said that, Ironheart? Go back and listen to it. He told us
that was wild.
He has no interest in the fighters. So once again, this is somebody who most people are doing reaction videos because of what he said on Twitter. Content creators are doing reaction videos from a guy who's tweeting, and he was on this channel, and they know they heard him say, I don't care about the fighters. I'm not for the fighter. So what y'all wasting your time for doing reaction videos for this clown who ain't for the fighter? He's just a glorified matchmaker that's hating on a man who's done nothing wrong for the last 25 years. If people can come up here and tell me, man, you got to let that go, Manager Marty. You've been talking about Snack for 7 months. He's been talking about Al Heyman and disrespecting him for 25 years. I never even disrespected nobody from Snack. I just put the facts out there. But he's just giving opinions for 25 years. Come on, y'all. So all I'm saying is that when we look at a guy like Rick Glazer, he don't need no more press. We're not talking about him no more. It was good to talk about him tonight. I wanted to incorporate that in it because I'm going to use what he's doing as a teachable moment for the audience here that's willing to learn. But Rick Glazer, I don't care if Canelo Alvarez come out tomorrow and say, you know what? I'm going to move on from PBC. So what? This is business. This is business. Ain't nothing lasts forever in business. If he feel like he gets a better deal somewhere else, okay, what's the problem? I know one thing, he ain't leaving Al Heyman to go to Rick Glazer. I know one thing, Matias ain't leaving Al Heyman and PBC to go to Rick Glaser, and neither is Terence Crawford and other fighters he mentioned in that tweet. They ain't going over to do no business with him, and they ain't getting no guaranteed contracts. That would be foolish for them because they know how it feels. They know how it feels to not be locked into guaranteed, you know? And what I'm saying is we got to uplift PBC because without PBC fighters competing, boxing seems like it's a little dry. These last couple fights we've been seeing in the last few months, since Showtime did they last card, it's been shaky.
Because they was. That's why I didn't even give you a prediction on the last.
Ortiz fight?
Ortiz and Lopez.
Fight. Yeah, Lopez. Yeah, Ortiz.
Yeah, I mean.
I want to tell you guys, double salute, Mr. Greg, Blackskin Bruce. Always good to see you, Bruce. Always good to see you too, Ironheart. Double salute to you guys. Thank y'all for coming up. I love y'all wisdom, and we don't have to agree on everything. As long as we can come to a common goal, that one thing that we going to always share is our love for the sport of boxing. And people can learn from us. And even COE. I was doing a little entertainment earlier. I don't have nothing against him. It's entertainment. But at the same time, I like him giving his perspective, and he's willing to come back up as well. You know, we've had a great show today. We had all kind of craziness happen today. And so to those of you that's going to watch the replay of this live, I hope y'all love it. I hope y'all learned something today that y'all didn't know about the sport of business of boxing. I got to pull up out the parking spot the same way I pulled in. And that's with the hottest intro. Come on back. Come on back Wednesday. Y'all got to come see me Wednesday, 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. I love y'all, and I know y'all got my back. And don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
Salute.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you.